Hey guys, Streams here again. This one with Goku met the Saiyans in the afterlife. Now, TAL just means the afterlife. But I guess, yeah, afterlife. So, what I mean by this is basically, we're gonna go to when Goku would first die due to, like, Raditz. We'll do Piccolo killing him, but Raditz, he had to hold Raditz in place. So, Goku would enter the afterlife, and, well, he was offered to turn King Kai. But, well, as Goku's like kind of talking to Kami, suddenly someone would yell Goku's name, or yell Kakarot. Goku's immediately confused, and, well, we see a very angry Raditz at the door to hell. Raditz would yell at Goku, saying, "Damn it, Kakarot, come here! I'll kill you over again, or I'll kill you myself this time." He then would jump at Goku, trying to grab him. Suddenly his tail is grabbed and pulled back by a man who looks exactly like Goku. And we see this man look very angry at Raditz, and Gine, stomp on him. This when Bardock says, "What did you just say, Raditz?" They immediately look up, seeing Goku dead, or seeing Goku with a halo over his head and a gigantic hole through his chest. Or a wound that would, or just basically his clothes ripped up in a way that would assume he has a hole through his chest and what Raditz's gear. Goku looks confused, and immediately when he sees how like Gine is ridiculing Raditz or Gine, he then thinks of how Chi-Chi would actually yell at Gohan if he does something bad. And well, Raditz claims he's his brother, so Gine and mother Goku puts together the thing, those are his parents. Goku froze up yelling, "Holy crap, I do have parents!" And immediately, I kind of realize how Goku's nature is completely against what a Saiyan is actually like. He's nothing like Raditz, nothing like Bardock, barely even like Gine, or Gine, I don't care. I'm going to say Gine from now on, it's easier. So, with this, basically, Gine was shocked Goku, and his cheeks being just shocked that she actually able to see her son, but not in the circumstances he would like. Goku would kind of want to talk to them a bit, looking at him to say Goku has to basically go to hell to talk to them. Like, you have to go to the afterlife, or else they'll be punished. Like, basically, everyone, like, Goku kind of gets a free pass right now, because King Kai and Kami are excusing him. With this, Kami actually gives Goku a pass, so is King Kai, because he's just not meeting his family properly. Now, in the afterlife, he proceeds to talk to Gine and Bardock, and he gets to know them. When he tells them about his adventures and his life, they're glad that he's lived a fun and good one. So now with this, well, Goku talks about Raditz, and Raditz is like, "Damn right. You're supposed to, I'm your brother, you're supposed to come with me." Goku immediately yelled at Raditz, and the Saiyans got gathered around. Every single Saiyan from history has been there. Saiyans have not been... Yes, Saiyans, there may have been good Saiyans, but they've been forced to do bad things against their will. That's not giving them a free pass into heaven. No, they're all in hell. Completely in hell. So this makes it easier for Goku to train with them all, or meet them all. But well, basically, Raditz would yell, I'm your brother Kakarot. You should have trained. You should have went with me. We're going to destroy Frieza." And that's when Bardock would chuckle, saying, "Raditz, you think that you, Vegeta, and Nappa could have killed Frieza. That's what you think, and your weakling brother. Well, not only your weakling brother, but your weaker brother. You guys think that you could have done that?" And from behind, we hear a voice that Raditz would think sounds like Vegeta. This man would say, "Oh, really? Even I have to admit it's an idiotic plan, and my son came up with it. I'm disgraced. Or I'm ashamed." And we see King Vegeta step out, and he sees Goku, and he says, why such a worthless Saiyan looking at me like that?" This is Raditz would bow, saying, "Sorry, sir, he's not accustomed to Saiyan nature. He was raised, he escaped last minute, and was raised as a different species." And this one, Goku looks at all the Saiyans there and says, "We're not all different, I guess. The only difference being is we have tails, so to say. Humans can get really strong, such as my master Roshi." And that's when basically, King Vegeta says, "There's nonsense. No other races like us in the universe." But Goku would say, "Well, even if that was true, it shouldn't matter. Everyone can get as strong as they like." Immediately, one of King Vegeta's guards, or ex-guards, would grab Goku and say, "Who the hell does he think he's talking to the king like that?" Suddenly, this guard, well, he has his head kicked in right to the ground by Goku. Now, everyone would notice that Goku took off his weights, and his power is almost reaching Raditz' level. Bardock would laugh, saying, that's what I call a kick. King Vegeta guard to attack Goku, and Bardock grabs him by their arms, and proceeds to throw them around like it's nothing. Now, Kami and King Kai are watching this, and they have an idea. That's when they grab a few people. They grab anyone related to the Saiyans coming to Earth, and Goku. So with this leads to basically Goku, Bardock, Guinea, Raditz, King Vegeta, and a certain someone else tagging along just by crossing Snake Way. These people are brought to King Kai's planet, or if they're supposed to go by Snake Way. Little Bardock and Raditz are not stronger than Goku. Well, Raditz carries Guinea, and Bardock will not know. This would be weird. Raditz carries Goku, and Bardock carries Guinea. Because it'd be faster this way. With this, they make it Snake Way. Bardock makes it there in like a day. Then we have Raditz who makes it there after like a week. And Goku and him trade places like holding each other. When they get there, they already see a certain man there, and King Kai is shocked. He waited for Goku to make it there, and the moment that Goku stepped foot on it, he appeared right behind King Kai. This man was simply that fast. So it means he made it Snake Way in a split second. And Goku points out this man, everyone's a little confused, and this man would actually remove his hood and say his name is Yamoshi, he is the first Super Saiyan. So here's a warm about King Vegeta, he made it there on the same time as Bardock and Guinea. But he just says that he's basically the first Super Saiyan, and people apparently call him the legendary Super Saiyan. King just immediately dismisses, saying that Yamoshi must be a liar, must not be real, because Yamoshi is a legend, so Super Saiyan. But that is when Yamoshi says, no, you've been watching from the afterlife. There's been a few people throughout history who's had his legendary Super Saiyan power, and a few years before Goku was born, King Vegeta exiled one of them. Immediately, King Vegeta would think of Broly, Paragus, and say, "Don't tell me. I exiled a descendant of the legendary Super Saiyan." And what she would say, kinda. His Super Saiyan's different. His Super Saiyan is more of a berserking kind of Saiyan. But he is more of a... The way that I called it would be a chaos, like, basically... a chaos Saiyan, or chaotic Saiyan. He was discussing what Broly's power does, and that's when King was like, oh, so he was that strong, huh? It's a good thing I exiled him. And that's when Yamoshi's like, no, that's a bad thing. You shouldn't have exiled him. You should have kept him, because his unkempt rage may lead to him destroying the planet after planet after planet. Because if he finds someone to escape Vampa, then, well, every planet is at risk of his rage. Now, everyone that doesn't know about Broly is like, so he's alive? And that's when Yamoshi says, yep, him and Paragus seem to be prospering. Not prospering, but they seem to be alive and well. And Broly, well, his rage is so severe that Paragus has to use tons of electricity to keep him in check. But yeah, eventually Yamoshi does say that he's probably the strongest Saiyan, or probably one of the strongest people in the afterlife currently, or the strongest for all he knows. But with this, he decides that they should be in training together. Because, well, he has an interest in Goku. Because Goku was like him, just Yamoshi grew up rougher and had a different kind of attitude, but their personality is pretty similar. Or their desire to protect people is. So now with this, Goku proceeds to talk to just Yamoshi as they get along pretty well, and Kai begins training them all. Well, mainly like Bardock, Yamoshi, and King Kai, they do the training for everyone while everyone else participates. Because now Goku and Raditz need to get along on Guinea's request. So with this, Goku, Guinea kind of trains because Bardock is asking her to do it because she's pretty weak, and plus if Kakarot were to come back to life because his friends, he can call upon some warriors in case he needs help. King Vegeta even begins getting accustomed to Goku as Bardock. He realized that Bardock was stronger than him already. Bardock just didn't care about his not rank, but his status. And that's all. But yeah. But basically, Goku and everyone else would train for that 1 year. By the end of it, King Vegeta is already kind of he's pretty well off. He's gotten a lot stronger, and due to Yamoshi and Bardock putting him in check every single day. Like, he ridicules Gine, he ridicules Goku, he ridicules Raditz for being weak. Then Yamoshi, even King Kai, and Bardock butt in and put him in check. With this, King Vegeta saw is like a, you know how Vegeta acts in the Saiyans? Not Saiyan saga, I mean, in the Android saga? That's how King Vegeta currently acts. That's what he acts like. So, yeah. And then we'd have basically just Raditz who got softened up to Goku, and they're more like actual brothers. They argue, they fight from time to time, but usually they're pretty cool with each other, or just annoying each other on purpose. This is from experience. But yeah. Now, Gine and Goku and Bardock all have a pretty healthy relationship overall. And Yamoshi told Goku about the legendary Super Saiyan ritual, but since, well, they're all dead, it probably wouldn't work here. But tells Goku how to do it, saying you need 5 Saiyans to do it, but I doubt you would need it for a while. But yeah. But now we'd go to basically just Goku, who would just be revived. When he's revived and comes out, well, crushing Snake Way is a breeze. His power level, little does he know, is already surpassing 30,000. So his father was well over 10,000 already. So was King Vegeta. Then we had Yamoshi, who was, well, unknown. Super Saiyan, his godly ki was left behind, and did influence Goku somewhat. What it basically did is just probably make it a little bit easier for Goku when he does unlock God Ki, since he would know how it works. Yamoshi had described it, he even showed it off to them. He just doesn't have Super Saiyan Blue. Goku only use Super Saiyan God to defeat Cumber. But Goku, well, when he comes out of the time out of hell, basically, or the afterlife, when he's on Kami's lookout, he actually asks Kami to do a certain thing for him. And Kami did hear how hard Goku was training, so he'd been training hard himself, alongside Piccolo. But Piccolo even brought up Gohan to the lookout, because basically Piccolo and Gohan were warned how hard Goku was training in the afterlife, to the point where he made stronger than all of them combined. But usually Piccolo and Gohan and Kami trained in the lookout together, and Piccolo and Kami were able to make Goku a certain set of clothing. It basically made him like just the garment for the lower body that's right here. Then for a shirt, we'll kind of just keep like a basic orange gi. The orange gi, but under it's just a black shirt, like a black tight long sleeve shirt. Basically his outfit. So yeah. Now with this, Goku proceeds to basically just head to the battlefield with Piccolo and Gohan. When they arrive, they see Yamcha about to be blown up by Saiyaman. Not Saiyaman, I mean Cyberman. So with this, well, when Yamcha's about to be blown up, well, he would realize that he's perfectly safe. Everyone sees Gohan holding the Cybermen, and the Cybermen's torn in half, dead. Alright, so with that, basically, Goku would just tell Gohan that's pretty cool speed, and Gohan would thank him. Now Nappa immediately attacked Gohan, and he beats Gohan, but Goku wouldn't trust this, because Gohan's power level is at 2,000. Piccolo is at 3,000. Well, there's none of them stronger than Nappa, but they're still pretty strong. So yeah. So with this, basically, Gohan would fight Nappa, and physically, Nappa outmatches him. Gohan's a lot faster, though. Well, Nappa just outmatches him in everything else. Probably not intelligence, but just basically Gohan outmatches him in speed and intelligence. Nappa has superior everything else. It eventually leads to Gohan having his back broken, or Nappa thinks he broke Gohan's back, but due to Gohan being so strong, he seems to slash Nappa in the face, leaving a pretty severe burn mark on it. Gohan was able to use ki to reinforce his body. Immediately, Goku and Vegeta are eyeing each other down, and everyone, basically all the Saiyans know who Goku's talking about, but Goku says a certain phrase of words. And basically it's just, wow, you look too much like King Vegeta. And that's when Vegeta says, but you were raised on Earth, how do you know what he looks like? And Goku immediately began stretching, saying, Piccolo, you can tell him, I'm no Gohan. Goku would walk over to Nappa, kicking him right in the neck, breaking it. And he took a very swift kick that broke his neck and almost killed him, but he's on the ground unconscious, with not being able to move. But basically, Piccolo would tell Vegeta that Goku trained in the afterlife, and then with a deity. And Piccolo did hear about Goku's training from Kami, because Kami watched the training for a bit. He occasionally dropped in to check on it. And that's when Vegeta heard that Goku trained in the afterlife, and then with a deity. He's like, so he's a student of a god. And that's when Piccolo laughs, saying, and a student of your father. Vegeta's like, I beg your fucking pardon? He's a student of who? And that's when Goku would then jump in the air and yell Big Bang Attack. Let's say King Vegeta would have that attack and taught it to Vegeta, but Gallic Gun is Vegeta's own personal technique. But Goku would be using Big Bang Attack, and this instantly proves Piccolo wasn't lying. Vegeta tries to match his own Big Bang Attack, but it's immediately pushed back, and Vegeta sent flying. Immediately, Goku throw a Buzz Wave in the air so Vegeta can turn into Great Ape, and Vegeta asks Goku if he's confident they can take on Vegeta in his Great Ape form. Goku would nod, and that's when basically everyone just looks at Goku who's pretty confident. But Goku would end up taking off his basically his shirt, saying he'll even remove his armor, and he looks like this. He does not remove the crotch guard. In any fight, no matter what, if you have a crotch guard, do not remove it. It is the essential. Goku basically looks like this, just minus the forehead scar. He'll get that later. Now, everyone kind of questions Goku about the scar on his chest, and he then says, oh, ask my dad. And they immediately just know he's dead, but they're like, whatever, doesn't matter. What happened basically is Bardock had learned Kamehameha and shot it at Goku, and Goku was weaker, so his Kamehameha was defeated, and then it hit him right through the chest. But it was able to, he immediately healed, because he's dead, so it wouldn't really matter. But Kami and everyone else was able to work a little bit of magic to keep his body looking like how he did. It would just show that he trained hard. It reminds him of what he's working for. Working hard for. So yeah, even his dad got stronger than King Vegeta and Bardock and, well, not Yamauchi. Yamauchi didn't get stronger at all. It was light work for him. And King Vegeta and Bardock got a lot stronger, as their power levels are all over 200,000 by now, because of just training with Goku. Both King Vegeta and Bardock are pretty friendly now. And they're now, King Kai's assistants. And King Kai still outmatches them in power, so he basically just trains them. And, well, I'll talk about it later. But long story short, they all live on King Kai's planet, or Bardock, Yine, and King Vegeta do. So yeah. But now, back to Goku versus Vegeta. Vegeta transitions to his Great Ape at full power, and Goku's power level currently believes it's like 35,000, but I'll go 35,000. But I need to do some math right now. So Goku can use Kaioken times 5, and that would already beat Vegeta, but he's going to use Kaioken times 6 just to piss him off, and show Vegeta how just different their power levels are. So Vegeta would dash at Goku, but Goku had already just said Kaioken times 6, and disappeared from right in front of Vegeta. Remember how close the Raikage was to Minato, and how many fast Minato disappeared? That's kind of what happened between Goku and Vegeta here. Goku appears right behind Vegeta, and picking him up by his tail and swinging him around, and then throwing him through a boulder. What's happened? Goku basically charges up a giant ki blast, firing at Vegeta, and Vegeta can't block it. It just burns away the fur and blasts off one of his arms. King Vegeta is just like being told about this by King Kai, and King Kai is just King Vegeta is like, oh, Vegeta. You can't even identify when someone stronger approaches you. It's a shame. That's just disappointing. So yeah, but Goku proceeds to basically slam around Great Ape Vegeta as this Vegeta is bleeding out everywhere. Eventually, Goku grabs him by his tail, twists, and pulls, tearing it off with one arm. Now with this, everyone kind of sees how Goku got that. Well, how you see how strong everyone in the afterlife was if they're able to leave a mark or a scar that big on, this Goku. He's basically more than double the strength he was when he was alive. Or when he was alive previously. Now he came back to life and he's extra strong, so it's just very impressive. But yeah, so eventually Nappa is kind of force-fed to Senzu Bean, and so is Vegeta. Vegeta's arm doesn't grow back, but the bleeding is stopped, and, it's kind of just shut. The wound is basically just back to a nub. But now with this, Vegeta is locked up by Bulma, and, Goku helps her lock up Vegeta with the help of basically King Vegeta and Bardock and basically Raditz. Plus Nappa is also locked up. They have like a gravity chamber, but in a gravity chamber, well, they have just insane amounts of gravity, and then if they try to like just stand up, and if they manage to surpass it, they're just hit with tons of volts of electricity. Yeah, there's tons of volts of electricity, and then there's hail is poked by something, or kind of just jabbed at really quickly by something. They don't know what it is, but it hurts. But yeah, so eventually when those two like come to, they experience the consequences of trying to escape. But also, well, Vegeta didn't. Well, yes, he did almost die. Same with Nappa. So Vegeta's power level jumped to like 20,000. Then Nappa, well, no, Goku canonically, he got a bigger boost, and this Goku beat him worse than he was in canon. His power level probably jumps to be higher than Goku. So that'd be pretty impressive, regardless. So yeah, so he jumps higher than Goku's power level, and Nappa jumps to be like around Goku's power level. But yeah. So now with this, they still kind of get subjected to torture. But eventually, when they just say what they want to do, Goku already heard about it from Raditz, but he didn't really care. He wanted to know their ideology about it, not their ideology, but their goals after. And eventually, like Vegeta did lie to Goku, saying once he's done, he'll leave Earth alone. It was a lie. So it happens basically is Goku just punched him in the face full force because he's been subjected to higher gravity, so he didn't really care about it. He basically just punched Vegeta right in the face and stomped on his tail, and then walked out. So with this, basically they have the idea to go to Namek, because that's where Frieza's still heading. But with this, well, Bulma was already working on the ship, so now Goku's just going to try to find some way back to King Kai's planet with the help of Kami. Then he goes there and he's training with everyone there even harder. When he trains with them, they're all using Kaioken while he's using base form. Basically, just Bardock and King Vegeta and Yamauchi. Yamashi's basically just using his base form, kicking Goku around. Then King Vegeta and Bardock use Kaioken times 3. Because they're dead, it doesn't really strain their body at all. They're safe. So with this, basically Goku's being abused left and right, and they're planning basically until the ship is finished. Give Goku endless Zenkais with also combat experience. And teach him the same martial arts. Okay, they mainly work on his ki and just power level. Mainly like just not martial arts, because he's working on other stuff, but yeah. Now eventually when he does come back from King Kai's planet, his power level is what it was before he went Super Saiyan. Like the power level he had when Krillin died, that wasn't with Kaioken. So 3 million was his power level. This Goku has that power level right now, because he's just got Zenkai for Zenkai for Zenkai for more than a week straight. So yeah. And these Zenkais are like serious, like he'd have hole blasted through him, and then he gets a Senzu beam right in the mouth, and then boom, I'm healed. So yeah. Eventually when he does go to his go to ship and gets in, he levels up Vegeta and Nappa, and they attack him, but they're both just punched right in the face and they're sent flying down. But he tells them about the gravity chamber on the spaceship and how they're going to be training partners. And also King Vegeta says hi. Now Vegeta think Goku's just fucking with him until King Vegeta will appear in his, well not appear, but speak in his head saying, "No, he's serious. I said hi." And Vegeta's immediately stunned, but just says, I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to question it. So yeah. Now eventually, Goku, Vegeta, and Nappa would be on the ship, and they begin training. As they train, the gravity is just really high. Goku's been subjected to like 1,000 times Earth's normal gravity, and just trains like that a lot of the time. Well, Vegeta and Nappa are just now getting used to being over 80 times normal gravity towards the planet Vegeta. So pretty sure planet Vegeta is like 10 times Earth gravity, but now this gravity is 80 times planet Vegeta. So they're just getting used to being like 800 times normal gravity. Well, Goku's just getting used to like 2,000. He's like, I'm chilling. But yeah, and Bulma added a bit of technology just to help Goku's like, oh yeah, this can it can have certain amounts of gravity in certain sections in case you bring someone else with you. But that was mainly meant for Gohan. But Gohan went with Bulma, and she kind of kept it in because she thought he may bring Vegeta and Nappa along. So yeah, now Vegeta got a lot stronger faster. So now they have 3 sections. Nappa's getting used to being over 800 times normal gravity. Vegeta's getting used to being 1,100. Goku's getting accustomed to 3,000 times now. Pause. So it's Goku training here. By the time they arrive on planet Namek, well, we'd have Gohan, who's fighting the Ginyu Force currently. Now, Ginyu Force arrives as Gohan actually did meet with Guru and has potential unlocked. When he turned with Kami, he got a lot stronger, and for those few days that he wasn't on planet Namek, like 1 or 2 days, it was just like Kami introducing him to Hyperbolic Time Chamber, and he trained in there with Piccolo. This time Piccolo didn't die because Goku got there a lot faster. Like, a lot faster. So basically with this, Piccolo's just fighting the Ginyu Force with Gohan. You know they're not on the level of like Rakum or anything, but they will take down basically everyone except for Rakum and Ginyu. That's really it. There's the last ones left. But the other Ginyu Force did get some very good hits on them. Like, they're both already worn down. Like, Piccolo's bleeding heavily, Gohan has a few broken bones, and he's also bleeding pretty excessively. But, yeah. Now, eventually, this leads to basically when Goku would arrive. Here in front of Gohan, about to be punched by Rakum, who almost killed Piccolo. But, well, Piccolo disappeared somehow, and basically was just Nappa grabbing him and disappearing. But, yeah. And Goku would just look at Rakum, just decided to go to Gohan, but the punch from Rakum was blocked. So, yeah. But Rakum would see what blocked it and just see Goku's thumb. That's really it. Goku could just block his thumb, then try to start his pinky out insanely fast, and it kind of broke Rakum's wrist. It kind of did break Rakum's wrist. And Ginyu would realize this, that Rakum's wrist was broken with the pinky, until that kid is this strong guy's father. But then Ginyu tries to swap bodies with Goku, but as he immediately tries that, Nappa appears behind Ginyu, holding Piccolo in his other hand, but would crush Captain Ginyu's head. And this leads to Nappa just laughing, saying, "Now that was the almighty Ginyu. That was the Captain Ginyu." That was depressing. He walks away, and then we go to Vegeta. Well, we see Zarbon and Dodoria being thrown around and kicked around like rag dolls. And Vegeta also rapidly stomping on Zarbon's head. Zarbon's even at full power. And he's like, "Come on, you suck. Get back up and fight. You can't be this weak." But no, he's quickly curb stomping Zarbon. Then the Dodoria tries to join in, but due to a few Z fighters joining in a lot earlier, and like a few of them not even being dead, Tien actually would end up grabbing the Dodoria, and Yamcha would Wolfang fist him across the face, making a giant slash. Basically, everyone's trying to hold off Dodoria while Vegeta finishes letting out his rage on Zarbon. We realize that Zarbon's dead, he turned on to Dodoria, and every single Z fighter disappears. They basically just speed blitzed away. Then Vegeta would jump towards Dodoria with his power spiking, and grabs him. Now, eventually, well, we're going to go to Afterlife right now. We would see, basically, what was it? Yeah, so we go to Bardock, who's going to visit Raditz, because Raditz isn't always on King Kai's planet. But he goes to the Afterlife to visit him, because they got along a lot better now. And he would see Raditz talking to someone. A little too familiar. Let me show you these names right real quick. Alright, so he sees that Raditz is talking to basically every single member of Team Bardock. So, the person that Raditz is mainly interacting with would be Borgos, which is the guy with the 3 scars on his head. Just the really big bald guy, basically, and that's who he is. He's not bald completely, but only the sides of his head have hair. And then we'd see Tora, who approaches Raditz, and then we'd see Fasha approaching as well. Fasha's the girl, Tora is the guy with the other spiky hair, but not like Bardock. It has like a flat top, I guess, but then there's spikes on top of it. So Tora's like the vice leader, and he's the guy with like the blue armor. He's very similar to like Bardock in stature and everything. It's just the hair is different. And then Shugesh would also follow. Shugesh is the fat guy, Fasha's the girl. Yeah, so Bardock would run to them, not realizing that they were here. So as he talks to them, immediately Bardock would just be happy to see them, and tells them about his son, besides Raditz. So yeah, but now eventually they go to King Kai's planet and they'd be in training. Because Bardock invited them, and King Kai seems like Saiyan so far. Plus, can't really stop Bardock and everyone else because, Bardock and Raditz and King Vegeta are pretty intimidating. Yamashita is just his friend that likes his very bad jokes. And Yamashita isn't pretending. Yamashita genuinely has just a bad sense of humor. So yeah. But now back to Goku. So Goku had basically just broke Goku's wrist and then killed him. Vegeta's letting out his rage on a very, very, very poor Dodoria now. And Nappa killed Captain Ginyu. Now Nappa is barely even reaching Ginyu's level. Like at best he's like 100 higher than Ginyu. Like Ginyu can be like, I'm power level 110,000. Nappa can be I'm power level 100 I'm 110,100. And they can be Nappa. But yeah, Nappa is like, let's say, just to be safe, let's say Goku probably at like 300,000 when he fought Ginyu. Then Ginyu was probably at like 290. So we'll put Nappa at, let's say we'll put Nappa at like 300. I guess we'll put Nappa at 300,000. So yeah. Now, Goku would just basically go with Nappa as after he gave Gohan and Piccolo Senzu beans. He goes with Nappa, and Nappa basically just tells him where Frieza's ship is. And Vegeta and Nappa did learn how to sense ki from Goku, so Vegeta's able to sense where they're going, and Z fighters can do it better, so the ki kind of follows them. So yeah, eventually Piccolo and all of them do encounter. They all meet up. All these fighters meet up. They encounter each other and. Gohan would recommend them to Guru. So they go to Guru, and Guru does not unlock the potential of Nappa and Vegeta because they're Nappa and Vegeta right now, but it does unlock Goku's potential. Goku was already at around 4 million when they got to Namek. When he's got on the ship, he's already at 3 million. But he's at 4 million currently. This potential is unlocked, and he went to 6 million. So you guys can imagine how strong Super Saiyan is going to be. But yeah. So now with this, Goku would basically be a lot stronger. Gohan is at, let's say, so when Nappa almost broke his back, he was at 2,000. But then he trained a bit on the time chamber with Piccolo and Kami. Let's say that jumped him to 10,000. And then eventually, while just the Senzu Bean plus experienced fighting with Raccoon and the rest of the Ginyu Force, his power level is now, let's say, I'll say it's just power level currently is at 80,000. That's it, 80,000. And then we have Piccolo, who didn't get a Zenkai, but he's already insanely strong. So his power level would be at 70,000. So let's say 90,000. But then eventually, Nail was demanded by Guru to fuse with Piccolo. Nail eventually agrees. Due to Piccolo being a little more lighthearted and already pretty calm and a little bit smarter due to being around Kami so much recently, who actually just looks at Guru and tells Guru about Kami on Earth, and says that if he were to die, Kami could not be replaced, or if Kami were to die of old age, Kami could not be replaced. So in case of that happening, he would actually want to replace him. And, well, because he's been around Kami so much, he actually starts to get a grip on the position, because a little bit of Demon King in him does like the idea of having power over Earth. So, he's not for an evil intention, but just likes the idea of having it. So with this, he actually just asks if he can fuse with Guru before Guru dies, and Guru does not completely die. With this, Guru does think of it as smart, but does kind of are you sure about it? And eventually, Piccolo says that he at least wants to have the knowledge and pass it on to Kami. So with this leads to Guru agreeing to it, and him and Piccolo fuse, temporarily at least, until Piccolo gets back to Earth and gives the knowledge to Kami. So now with this, Goku would, and everyone else proceed to attack the Frieza Force. Piccolo's power level had already jumped to 1 million, due to just fusing with Guru and Nail. Then Dende's with them, and Vegeta had an idea. Him and Nappa and Gohan put their hands on, basically, kind of in a line. Basically, Vegeta would fire a ki blast out, and then, kind of in a triangle mainly. They all have their hands pointed at each other. Vegeta pointed at Nappa pointed at Gohan pointed at Vegeta. Ki blast fire, then they're healed. And Goku had brought 10 Senzu Beans, and he already gave 2 away, so now he has enough Senzu Beans for every single Z fighter, let's say that. So, Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, Krillin, Vegeta, Nappa, himself, Piccolo, and Gohan. That's 9 people. Let's say he brought like 1 extra, so that's 10. But then he gave 2 away, so that's 8 left. And then now we have to watch Vegeta and Nappa and Gohan repeatedly shoot themselves with ki blasts over and over and over. And so they do it 5 times. So that is 7 senzu beans given away. In total, so 7 senzu beans. Now with this, basically Vegeta's power level would jump to 3 million. Nappa is at 1 million, and Gohan is at 4 million. He's at 5 million, matching his father, because he has unlocked potential as well. Piccolo found this idiotic, but did admit it was physically it was idiotic, but it was actually pretty smart in other hands. Well, then Gohan has a cool new one new scar to support to his mom. She won't be happy about it, but it's a cool scar. And it's from basically just Nappa punching a hole through him, not shooting with the ki blast. Then when Vegeta killed Nappa, they kill each other and not kill each other, but they almost kill each other in different ways. But now with Frieza. So they all fight Frieza, and this is just a few guys with power levels in the millions, barely reaching Goku's at 6, Gohan's at 5, that's 11. Vegeta's at 4, so that's 15. Then Nappa, I believe I said, is at 2 million. So that would be 16 million, not 17 million. Piccolo, who would make it 18 million. The other Z fighters combined don't even make it. They don't even make it 20 million or 19 million. No, they'd make it. Piccolo would make it 19 million. OZ fighters can't even make it 20 million. So it's not even comparing to Frieza. Frieza was being jacked up in every single form until he went to his final form. And with this, he basically was able to actually grab Gohan and throw him in the air and shoot him with the ki blast. Doesn't kill him, but it just basically makes him fall to the ground pretty beat up. Vegeta actually kills Vegeta and kills Nappa. And then with Goku, what he does basically grab Goku and begin slamming him around and fire a ki blast to his stomach. Or he thought it went through his stomach, but basically just sent Goku flying into a rock. And then we'd go to Goku. We go to Piccolo versus Frieza, and Piccolo inherited hundreds of years worth of knowledge for fighting styles and used those against Frieza. So he had a technique advantage against Frieza, but he was a lot slower, a lot weaker. Basically, Frieza was overwhelmed by Piccolo's martial arts, and Piccolo actually stabbed Frieza through the chest, but it didn't kill him. Frieza is currently just coughing up blood. The Z fighters attack, and Goku watches. He stands up as the Z fighters all wiped out. Goku's eyes are widened as Tien, Chaozu, Yamcha, all of them are wiped out, just leaving him, Piccolo, Gohan, and that's it. Now Gohan stands back up, barely able to recover. And we see Piccolo, who rushes at Frieza again, but Frieza then says that he's sick of them all, and shoots the ki blast at Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta. Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo. But Goku's able to evade it, as he's the fastest one, but he rushes towards Gohan. But as his hand reaches Gohan, he would realize that he's only holding Gohan's arm, and the rest of Gohan's body is gone. Then he sees Piccolo, who is just, reduced to ash. His eyes immediately widen, and Goku had reached a peak of rage never felt before. Yes, he was pissed off when he saw Krillin die, but this is rage he's never felt before. Even the dynamic Goku would be shocked at the amount of rage leaking out of this Goku. Now, Goku was already at a higher power level, but, I have to pause. Goku basically lost everyone important to him. Only people left important would be Roshi and Bulma. And Chi-Chi. That is it. That is quite literally it. And, Bulma had watched this, and she helped but break down and cry. And Goku's eyes kind of go blank. They kind of just roll to the back of his head. And he would go Super Saiyan. But immediately he goes Super Saiyan, he was amped with a rage boost. So he's already Super Saiyan at... I'll say its power level is just His power level currently, so he's times 52 Super Saiyan. So that'd be currently 6 million, then times 50 Super Saiyans. That's. Let me make sure this right real quick. So Goku, when he's kind of just went to Super Saiyan, and he's at 300 million. But then he has a rage boost, which I'll give him a 15 times boost because why not? Because originally when you see Trunks going and having a rage boost, his power level is going to level Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue, which that would be too much for this Goku. It'd kill him. So we basically just give him a 15 times boost, kind of like Ozaru, but a little bit higher. So times 15, that would give him a 4.5 billion power level. With that 100% Frieza can even touch Goku. As once he takes one step, he's torn in half. And then Goku just makes a smack around Frieza until Frieza is able to get his other half, his two halves together, and they come back to get kind of just as a one body. But he's kind of begging, leave me alone. I can't even touch you. This is just too much. And Goku doesn't even consider it. Well, he basically tries to blow at Namek, but the blast is swatted into the air, and Frieza is kicked into the blast. It hits it explodes, and Yamauchi feels it, King Kai feels it, everyone feels it. And Bardock is shocked, so is King Vegeta. Goku surpassed them both, but still not Yamauchi, not even close. But Goku would jump right up at Frieza, who's not dead yet, and you can't really see his eyes, kind of blacked out now. But just to make sure Frieza's gone permanently, he would say Kaioken times 2, and we'd have 4.5, that'd be times 2. So, 8.5, I'd say, probably like that, 8.5 billion. And Goku let out a roar, and Ki blast would come out of his mouth, incinerating Frieza completely. Or so he thought. Mecha Frieza will still come into play. But now, Goku powers down as he lands on his back, and is coughing profusely. Now he'd go over to the remains of his friends, basically just like a single leg of Piccolo and one arm of Gohan. And Goku's just crying, and no wish was made with the Dragon Balls, at all. And Kuru is completely dead. Piccolo is just now getting accustomed to being having a superior ability to heal. But this ability kind of put him in shock. Not this ability, but him being taken out like that, put him in a state of shock. So immediately, as he comes to, as he comes to after an hour, Goku's gathering any form of remains. Suddenly Piccolo, his whole body shoots out, and he's alive. He was panting, saying, "Holy shit! I never thought that I could regenerate like that." Goku says, "Piccolo, thank God you're alive." They gather Dragon Balls, and Piccolo's able to speak Namekian perfectly, so he's able to make a wish. And it's the wish that basically brings back all the people that Frieza. Well, first the wish is to bring back the Z Fighters. So the Z Fighters are all brought back. Then Nappa and Vegeta were a whole different thing. So this is the second wish, and the third wish was basically just revive everyone that was harmed by the Saiyans on Earth. That wish is made, and so that works. And now we would have basically just Goku and all of them that head back to the ship, as Namek was never destroyed. But, kind of weary because Vegeta doesn't want to know about King Cold. So, on Earth, with those Dragon Balls, what they do is, what they have the wish made is that they have Namek swap out with the vacant planet far away from, or outside the range of the Frieza forces, or now Cold forces, range. So they just swap out Namek with a different planet outside the Cold forces range. And it does just that. But it does drain a lot of energy from Kami, as he had to try to advance the Dragon Balls. He had done that for a while, so when he does it for the first time, Piccolo took up a lot of his ki. But when they get back to Earth, Piccolo puts hands on Kami, and Mr. Piccolo thinks something bad's going to happen, so it's Kami. But Kami just overflowed with knowledge and power. Suddenly, Guru is ejected from Piccolo's body, and then Guru's about to die, but he fuses with Piccolo, and now, fuses with Kami, and they're all a lot smarter. So, yeah. But now we basically just have, 2 years peace. And King Kai does recommend that Goku go to planet Yardrat because he can learn instant transmission. And it'd make it like basically just the reason he tells him is that he can now he can probably go to King Kai's planet without the help of Kami. So Goku mainly just tries to learn instant transmission because of that. So that happens, and he goes to Namek via spaceship. King Kai tells him the coordinates, and Bulma enters it for Goku, and then he gets planet Yardrat. And well, King Kai is able to help out by basically making it so so certain few people can come out of the afterlife to help Goku train. So Vegeta and Nappa didn't have anything else to do. Like as Goku's ship was being built to go farther than Namek, because it couldn't really withstand that. It didn't have enough fuel, so as fuel was being made, it took like a week or two. Vegeta and Bulma did kind of get intimate once, but not enough for Trunks to be born just yet. Let's say it was enough for Trunks to be born, or somewhat conceived. So now Goku would head back. But he heads to Yardrat, and then he is there with Vegeta and Nappa. And let's like go on for the sake of it. Goku is kind of gaining a little bit of common sense because King Vegeta and Bardock find it infuriating at how stupid Goku is. So every time he says something stupid, does something stupid, he's hit in the back of the head, and then it kind of forces him to act smarter and think smarter. But yeah, he kind of just thinks smarter off the top of his feet now, and better at strategies mainly. Less Bardock's group. But yeah, back to Earth. Fortune teller Baba makes a deal with Kami, and Kami also just able to convince her, because he's the god of Earth and can do things so no one else can. With this, basically, Fortune teller Baba is able to basically give Bardock squad, basically everyone that trains with Bardock, with King Kai, is able to stay alive on Yardrat for at least 1 week, or be given bodies to go to Yardrat for 1 week. So as they get to Yardrat, Vegeta would see King Vegeta for the first time in a while, and yeah. But Goku would train on Yardrat for 2 years. Vegeta leaves after 1 year. And, well, when he leaves... Wait, no. As far as Trunks wasn't born until after Future Trunks... left. So, never mind. Vegeta doesn't need to have Trunks just yet. But, yeah. Now, when they come back from Yardrat... Well, now Bardock... Well, he's going to use a certain version of Dragon Balls at one point, or have Goku do it for him. But, yeah. When they arrive, Trunks arrives, and, well, they arrive right as, like King Cold and Frieza get there. But all the Z Fighters trained a lot harder. Kami introduced them to the Time Chamber, and they all train in there constantly, so they can get strong as they can. And they all reach a power level, like the average, even Yamcha and Krillin, their average power level is 2 million. Tien being the strongest is at 10 million. So yeah, now Frieza arrives saying that he's expecting Son Goku, but does recommend King Cold power up, because Son Goku is insanely strong. But King Cold just thinks Frieza's weak right now. But in his base form, when he arrives, well, he meets Tien. And Tien does just demand they leave. Frieza just tries to smack Tien around, but King Cold says he'll show Frieza that these guys are weak. Frieza does reckon something different about Tien and everyone else. So when King Cold goes for a slap, King Cold's sword would immediately disappear from his back, and he's cut to pieces. But then Ki Blast is fired, incinerating every bit of King Cold. Now this shocks Frieza. His father was just killed in front of him. But as he goes to kill Tien, Trunks interferes. And the Saiyans were just watching this. They're going to watch up until, like, if Tien was going to be killed, then they wouldn't have. Then that's when they intervene. But they see Trunks, and they're pretty interested in him, and Tien is as well. And Trunks was in Super Saiyan, so that's even more interesting, because Vegeta, Nappa, Goku, Bardock's whole squad. No, I'm just kidding. But basically, Goku, Bardock, King Vegeta, Nappa, Gohan, and Tora. Those 7 all have unlocked Super Saiyan. And well, Goku's full power is actually now at 300 million. 300 million, I mean. He trained a lot more, so let's make his base power level 100 million currently. This is his base power level when he meets Trunks. Actually, wait, do some math real quick. So Trunks meets them. Trunks is still Vegeta and Bulma's son. Still gonna be the same age as everything. But I'm gonna go over power levels when they meet Trunks. So everyone when they meet Trunks. So Goku is going to be at 100 million when he meets Trunks. This is base power level, 100 million. And then, when they start 3 years of training, he'll go to 150 million. But then with Super Saiyan, that's times 50, he'd go to 7.5 billion. Vegeta is at 80 million, then would go to 110 million, then times that by 50, 5.5 billion. Go on 60 million, then later he would go to 90 million, then times that by 50, 4.5 billion. And then Nappa was the same as Gohan, but got a leg up because he's used to intense training. Gohan isn't really used to it. So Nappa went to 95 million, and he's able to times that by 50, going to 7.5 billion. Not 7.5, I mean 4.75 billion. Gohan's at 4.5, Nappa is barely above him. I almost said Nappa was the strongest one. I almost said he like Goku level. But no, Nappa is at 4.75 billion. And then for the dead ones that have Super Saiyan, Bardock is equal to Bardock's equal to Goku. King Vegeta is equal to Vegeta. Tora is equal to Nappa. Now the humans or the non-Saiyans. Tien is at 10 million, but then the training he would go to 20 million, but they also all train with King Kai. So with that, Tien's able to get Kaioken, but times 3. That's the most he can do. So Tien was Kaioken times 3, is able to go to 60 million. Then Krillin was at 5 million, but then would go to 18 million over the time. And then he's able to do Kaioken times 4, which would give him to 72 million. So Yamcha, I have to add an A, so just how much. But yeah, Yamcha, he's at 3.6 billion. Billion, I mean. He's at 3.6 million. I was looking at someone else's power level, but Yamcha is at 3.6 million, but then he goes to 12 million, but he's able to Kaioken times 2 to go to 24 million. He's barely able to beat Tien at full power. He's barely able to beat base Tien at full power. And then we have Roshi, who did start training, but in the time chamber, and is just now getting into Kaioken in the last 2 months before the androids attack. Roshi's at 1.2 million, and then he goes 15 million, then he's able to do Kaioken times 2 to go to 30 million. And Piccolo's at 76 million, but then he's able to go to 105 million, but then with Kaioken times 5. And then with Kaioken times 5, he's able to do 525 million. That's full power. And Trunks does admit these guys are super strong. Plus, he saw Tien kill King Cold. But really, King Cold could have killed Tien, it was just he was off guard. So yeah. But that's part of just being a person who's fought a lot. King Cold isn't used to needing to be on guard. He's just used to being so strong compared to everyone else. But yeah, so now 3 years commence. I already named the power levels, so yeah. Yamcha's the first one on the scene and encounters Android 19 and Dr. Gero. Immediately, he starts fighting Gero in 19. Gero almost shoves his fist through Yamcha's chest until Yamcha would yell Kaioken times 2. Immediately, Dr. Gero 19 is sent flying, and the 19 is killed by the shockwave. Dr. Gero would end up being kind of damaged, not badly, but kind of damaged by Kaioken times 2. But immediately, he would fly off and go to his base, with Yamcha following him. Yamcha's on his tail, and he is able to tear off a leg of Dr. Gero. Everyone else would follow Yamcha. The Saiyans are all just flying in their base form because they can keep up with Yamcha like it's nothing, because they're all more powerful than him, even in their base forms, even Gohan. Once they fly after him, well, eventually Dr. Gero goes to his lab, and is actually able to shoot Yamcha right in the face with a ki blast, and hit him in the eye. It doesn't take Yamcha's eye, but it kind of it irritates him. So yeah. Pause. Alright, so everyone begins to tend to Yamcha. Goku learned a lot of meching techniques, and everyone kind of picked up their own technique on Namek. Like Goku, Vegeta kind of thinks of Goku as a rival, and Gohan follows his dad till they all began learning instant transmission. But Vegeta also thought Spirit Vision was interesting, so he began learning that himself. And then Piccolo kind of stuck to all the meching techniques, but learned instant transmission as well. Like everyone learned instant transmission and learned the basics of it, but if you didn't perfect it, you had other techniques that you did perfect or learn perfectly. So yeah, now Goku has his instant transmission perfected and the basics of Spirit Vision down, but he doesn't know how to do it correctly at all times. Vegeta, kind of the reverse of Goku, he can do Spirit Vision perfectly, but not instant transmission perfectly. It's kind of weird. Then Gohan, the same thing as Goku. Then Nappa, same thing as Vegeta. But Nappa also had a big interest in, what was it? I need to name the techniques again. Alright, so I wrote down all of the Namekian and Yardratian techniques. I forgot where I was, but basically, what I remember is basically Juro going into his lab. Juro goes into his lab after blasting Yamcha in the eye. Piccolo or Goku heals his eye, but I'm gonna go over all the techniques that they say that everyone else on Yard Drought would know, even the dead guys. So I want to spend time on this. Goku would learn instant transmission and forced spirit vision. Vegeta would have an interest in forced spirit vision, but not as much as instant transmission. For Goku, like I said before, instant transmission has that down. Still learning forced spirit vision, like knows the basics, still has to learn how to use it. Vegeta's the complete opposite. Gohan's the same as Goku. Nappa has an interest in being a giant mainly, and then is getting the basics of instant transmission down. Like they can do it, but not perfectly. Like it takes a lot of focus. So if they were to go somewhere currently, it'd take them a long time to do it. Like it's been like 2 minutes concentrating on and focusing on where to go. Well, Goku can do it in a second, so it'd be a lot easier. But then with Bardock, he basically has the same as Goku. Then King Vegeta has the same as Vegeta. Then Toro would have the same ability as Nappa, but instead of instant transmission, he has the main interest in gigantification and healing. Well, not healing. I say cloning instead of healing. Then for Piccolo, from Guru's memories, was actually he had Guru in his body. He was actually able to memorize every single thing Guru had known. And on Kami had also told Piccolo a few things. So that was a little bit helpful as well. So, yeah. So, Piccolo, I'm going to go over all of his abilities. Enhanced hearing, hardened skin, regeneration, flexible and stretchable skin. He's able to unlock potential now. He's able to use the materialization ability, which is basically just making clothes out of thin air. Then fusion, fission. If you know no chemistry, you know what those are. And then soul control. It's kind of what Kami did to make Demon King Piccolo, but he didn't intend to make Demon King. Then healing, telekinesis, and telepathy. Bio armor. Red-eyed. There's the red-eyed Namekians, which is basically Super Saiyan. And blue eyes, which is God Ki Namekian, but he doesn't know what God Ki is. Piccolo so far would know instant transmission. Already knows cloning, healing, and turning into a giant. Only one he's missing is his forced spirit vision. It's the only one he's missing. But then he would have the regeneration down. He would awaken that dynamic. But then learn to have red eyes, or learn to basically have red-eyed. Be a red-eyed Namekian. Then have telekinesis and telepathy, and materialization, and unlocked everyone's potential before the battle will start. That's why everyone's power levels went high. That's why the power levels went so high. So yeah. So eventually 17 and 18 walk out, but 16 does as well, because 16 was awakened as well for some reason, I guess, now. But yeah, 17 still killed Juro. But as they walk out, they see Yamcha's eyes fully healed as Juro had awakened them, saying, Go out. One of them is injured, kill that one, then kill the rest of them. But the rest of them, no one's injured, because they've seen Piccolo covering Yamcha's eye, and then Piccolo would watch as Yamcha would stand up, and he's perfectly fine now. But yeah. Immediately, 17 rush at Goku, and he's able to block both their attacks, but physically and, speed, they seem to be on his level, or a little bit slower, but they're still both insanely fast and strong. And then we would have basically, eventually they all end up kind of like fighting against the androids, but they also let out some prototypes, being Android 13, Android 9, basically every single android you can name that isn't Android 8, or that didn't appear in OG Dragon Ball. The ones in the movies count, though it's not Android 8. I'm pretty sure that's it. The ones that Goku didn't encounter in the OG series, just the ones now. But yeah. Now he meets all the androids, and, those androids come out, and Goku focuses on fighting 18 currently, because that's when he's fighting. Eventually Vegeta would swap to 18, and Goku means fighting 17, but he's punched in the face by someone gigantic and blue. He's flying, he's able to land on his feet, but it kind of spits out a little bit of blood and rubs his cheek, and spits out a tooth. He looks at Android 13, who then goes back to his normal, human-ish form. Goku powers up Super Saiyan, and him and Android 13 begin clashing. Now, Piccolo has a bit of a secret up his sleeve, which would be his red-eyed Namekian form. He doesn't show that off at all. He knows he has it, just doesn't use it because it strains his body. And instead of just tearing his body apart like the muscle, no, it just basically drains liquid from his body up until he's basically just dehydrated fruit. But it'd be a little bit different than that. Not a little bit different. It's kind of just exactly like that, but it could change. Now back to just this. Goku and Entry 13 are fighting. Entry 17 doesn't have enough fight, so attacks Gohan. But Gohan and Nappa team up on him, and it ends up working out, kinda. Eventually, Piccolo got a little more protective over Gohan because he trained with him a lot longer. Gohan's kind of like his, Gohan thinks of Piccolo not like a grandfather figure, but like an older brother sort of thing. That's kind of what it is, older brother. Because this way, I don't think Piccolo's that much older than Gohan. I think a year or two older than Gohan. So Gohan at this point is so he's 4 when he met Raditz. A year passes because Goku's dead. Then he's 5, and then they go to Namek, so he's still 5 on Namek, and then we'd see him now. So it's a total of 5 years. So he's 10, 11 at this point. So I'll go with 10 at this point. He's 10. So he's 10, and then that make Piccolo I think 11, 12. So I'll say 11, 11 and a half. Yeah, so Piccolo, Gohan, and Nappa are all fighting Android 18. Android 18 is able to beat Gohan and Nappa, but finds Piccolo as a big struggle. Do more math real quick. So Goku's fighting Android 13, and Android 13 is going full power. Goku's using Super Saiyan 1 Mastered. And as he fights him, well, it's kind of just getting complicated for Goku, but we're going to go to Android 18 versus Piccolo. Android 18 and Piccolo are fighting. Piccolo's full power does eventually reach, and not full power, but Android 18 thinks it's full power, which is 5.25 billion. That's him using his Namekian version of Super Saiyan, which is his eyes turning red. So that's Piccolo and Android 18 fight. This Android 18 stronger than Canon, Vegeta stronger than Canon, so Piccolo's a little bit weaker than Vegeta. Android 18's beating up Piccolo. But she still feels he's holding back because his skin's a lot harder and he's a lot stronger. Physically stronger than Vegeta, even if Vegeta goes Super Saiyan. And Goku senses Saiyan power in Piccolo because he's accustomed to sensing ki now, a lot. Because he's trained his abilities with different people who have the same abilities as him, plus Yamoshi, who's mastered his abilities. Yamoshi is basically the same abilities as Goku, just mastered. It's not Kaioken or Spirit Bomb, but that's the only thing Yamoshi holds. Not hold over Goku. So the Kaioken and Spirit Bomb are the only things that Goku holds over Yamoshi. So yeah, well, now Yamoshi has more time to do it, so she heals out for Goku now too. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so Piccolo is eventually is able to kick Android 18 in the air. And Android 18, as she's flying back down, would punch Piccolo and they collide fists. And to everyone's shock, she would yell, "Go all out, stop holding back or I'll kill you." But Piccolo just chuckles, saying, now you sound like Goku. He jumps in the air, stretching his arms, and we swing her around and throws her into a rock head first. Android 9 punches Piccolo in the side, but Piccolo punches them into the ground. And Android 18 would power up and attack Piccolo. Ambient's kind of strangling him, or trying to, but he's stretchy, so it doesn't really work. But eventually Piccolo's able to pull her arms away, and then yells, "Fine, I'll go all out." Piccolo would roar, yelling, "Kaioken times 5. Now this does put more strain on Piccolo's body, but Kaioken takes less strain than it does on Goku, so... Well, Piccolo takes less strain, because Piccolo's muscles are... Well, his body's stretchy, it doesn't really matter for him, so it's easier. But it does still hurt like hell. Eventually Piccolo's able to do this for 5 minutes, and Android 18 is beaten on the ground. Continue to watch as Piccolo easily beat 18. With this, he disables it, and his eyes go back to normal, and 18's on the ground unconscious and bleeding. Now, everyone thinks Piccolo's stronger than Goku, and 13 said, "Huh, it looks like the making's a bigger challenge than you. Well, I guess I'll leave you behind." And 13 then tries to attack Piccolo, but he's held in place, and Goku's in Master Super Saiyan, where it seems like he's pushing it. Goku's trying to buy a red aura, And Goku laughed at Piccolo, saying, "So it looks like we both can mix Super Saiyan, not Super Saiyan, but can mix Kaioken into our most powerful forms." Piccolo nodded, saying, "Everyone would back away." They'll fly in the air, even the androids, and Goku would yell, "Kaioken times 10. Does that, his power level would reach 75 billion. Really, 13 is incinerated in just Goku's sheer shockwave of using Kaioken. Well, not incinerated, but just blown apart, and it kills him. Eventually, the other androids are defeated by the Z fighters because not many of them are important. Like Tien and Krillin and Yamcha and Roshi take them down. Well, Nappa and Gohan, they kind of struggled a bit, but yeah. I forgot what I did with 17. Pretty sure I had him fighting Vegeta once 18 moved on to Piccolo, because he beat him. So Vegeta woke up and now he's fighting 17. But now 17 is fighting Vegeta, Gohan, and Nappa. And they're not able to beat 17, but eventually Goku just walks up to 17 and basically bitch smacks him so hard he passes out. But Goku will disable Kaioken. And now, well, they think that's it. Suddenly, someone very big would land on Goku, and the tail is stabbed right into Android 17's back and absorbed. Same perfect cell is formed, and Vegeta tries to attack this person, but Vegeta's just bitch smack like Goku did 17. Then 18 is absorbed, then 13. 13 was a bit of power, or a bit of extra power, but basically gave Cell a transformation ability. So yeah. Now, with this, basically, Cell begins beating the Team Fighters, as he just says he's perfect. Even though he's perfect. Well, his name is Cell, but now he's Perfect Cell. Or you can call him Ultra Cell now. Or Super Cell. But everyone just attacks him, and he's able to beat them all, even Piccolo, at full power. But Goku kind of is able to stand up, as when Cell landed on his back, Goku felt like his back broke, but he's able to heal it. Now he's fighting Cell at full power, and it doesn't really help at all. Because Cell's able to match Goku in physical strength and speed, powering up like 13 does. So with this, Goku still can't match Cell, and eventually Cell beats Goku. Now he didn't knock out any of the Z fighters, like maybe Yamcha and Roshi, but that's really it. But this is that he'll give them all 10 days to train. No, Goku just thinks they're being mocked, but he does know that they need these 10 days. But he looks at the Z fighters and does know that they'll need a lot more than a regular 10 days. So he's able to give Cell to give them 1 month. Cell says why he should give them even 10 days, but Goku just says, knowing Cell, he'll probably grow a lot faster in those 10 days and not in that 1 month than them. But Cell also has Saiyan DNA if Cell is who he says he is, so Cell would automatically trip this fight, and satisfaction of beating them, but also satisfaction getting a Zenkai in case it may be equal fight. Cell does the point in this, and says, fair enough, Kakarot. Sure. You got 1 month to train. Goku would nod, and Cell would walk off to go prepare his arena, but that's when Goku would just say, before Cell leaves, saying, we can do it on Earth, do it on the vacant planet where Namek used to be. Cell says, I'll do it wherever I please, Kakarot. But Cell does go to the empty planet because, well, he can prepare a ring that's insanely huge. Now with this, for the first week, everyone establishes where they will train. Now with this, Baba helps them use, well, first Goku uses Dragon Balls, actually, like making Dragon Balls. First, regular Dragon Balls basically just give everyone that trains with King Kai, give all the dead Saiyans that he trains with I guess you can just call it a body. They don't need to be alive in it, just give them all the body, and that's able to help Kami. Kami's able to do this. Dragon Balls are a lot stronger. They're not as strong as Yardrat, not Yardrat, but as strong as making Dragon Balls are not that strong, but they're able to grant 3 wishes. Basically, it's, oh yeah, I want them to have a body or something they can use to move around in. Then he wants one of the things that he mainly wants is to take away the strain or reduce the strain of using Kaioken at full power or at him Piccolo's full power, everyone's full power basically, and Dragon Ball's able to do that. Then third wish. Well, Bulma did give birth to Trunks, and Bulma's under stress right now, so basically he wants to move everyone that Bulma cares about that isn't going to fight to a whole different location. So New Namek is where they're moved to. And Bulma was like had to consent to this wish, and she's okay with it because Vegeta can find her. And then, well, that's all three wishes for the Dragon Balls. Then for the Namekian Dragon Balls, Piccolo makes the wish to basically just like, well, he wants to revive everyone on King Kai's planet, and it works. King Vegeta goes to his body, Bardock goes to his body, well, Bardock's whole squad goes to his body, Raditz, Gine, and Yamoshi go to their bodies. Yamoshi feels shocked that he's alive, but he's like, why not? It doesn't matter. Well, Yamoshi, like, he's strong compared to this Goku, but not compared to, like, Super Goku. Like, at best, I'll give him, like, probably like 40% of Beerus's power. 40% at most. Well, this isn't enough to wake up Beerus. Someone strong. Cool. Whis is intrigued by this, but he kind of just backtracks in history a bit, like, just kind of searches up, and is like, oh, there's going to be a big tournament. I want to know how this will go, but I don't really care right now. So yeah, Whis is kind of spectating the Cell games, and then tells the Kais about it because they also sent Yamoshi. They question Whis, and Whis is like, "Oh, there's a big tournament going on," and he's kind of able to display it. In the Oracle Fish watches. So yeah, now they watch Cell sets up the arena, and Whis sets up an arena so like the planet isn't destroyed, or in case outside of it is. They have this one arena. Like Yumika does it when Cell isn't looking, just basically appears, taps the staff on the ground, then disappears again. And Kai's even help Whis by giving him advice, and he fixes it when Cell isn't looking. But yeah, so basically, Kami and Piccolo fuse, and Piccolo takes on the role of Kami. With this, he's able to basically upgrade the Lookout to its full potential, and basically due to Piccolo kind of being a mixture of every single kind of Namekian, he's able to do this perfectly. This one, when the Lookout is upgraded, he's able to suit the Z Fighters perfectly. And well, Roshi was kind of trained to not to like, but basically just to withstand, not scenes, but things that trigger his pervertedness, and it helps out a bit. But yeah, now the Z Fighters all trained Time Chamber, and Piccolo knocked it to the point where, like, basically your power grows. Like you don't physically age or mentally age, but like it gives your power years in advance, plus your potential keeps growing and growing, and then Piccolo can unlock it because he's going to be in there with them. And during the time, Cells kind of just learning to control his power, even unlock Super Saiyan 2. Well, everyone else would basically just be on Yardrat, mastering their abilities. Well, the Saiyans are. Piccolo already mastered his Yardratian abilities in the Time Chamber. Basically, Goku would master instant transmission, Force Spirit Vision. He basically learned that because he did see what Cell did. Piccolo already mastered Force Spirit Vision in the first week. It was pretty easy. But Force Spirit Vision, cloning, healing, and turning giant. And then for Vegeta, he learned everything Goku did. One thing he's missing is cloning. Gohan did everything his dad did, but Gohan was already in the way of mastering Force Spirit Vision because, he had a bit more time with Chi-Chi, and Chi-Chi was just like, go on, you're going to be involved with this. But Gohan escaped, so he just secretly trained during this whole time while everyone was discussing plans. So he already mastered Force Spirit Vision before Goku. Gohan was already mastering this, and he went back to Earth with Piccolo. Because Piccolo was going to teach him some Namekian techniques. Then we have Nappa, who had learned, only ability he's missing would be cloning and healing. But he has a transmission, Force Spirit Vision, and turning giant. Or gigantification. Then Bardock, King Vegeta, Tora, and Yamoshi and Raditz. So, where's my paper with Bardock Squad's name on it? Let me grab it. Let's look at Revengers. Here it is. Wrong paper. Here it is. Okay. So we have Bardock, who would master instant transmission, Force Spirit Vision, and cloning. And then we would have King Vegeta, who learns everything Vegeta does, because, he's already focusing on his other abilities. Yeah, Bardock mastered everything Goku did. King Vegeta mastered everything Vegeta did. Like, they mastered all Yardrat abilities. They all do. But Tora is missing, he's missing the Force Spirit Vision, let's say that. Then Fasha is able to learn cloning, learn cloning and healing and instant transmission, or learning the basics of it at least. And then Borgos, he's able to do everything, just not force spirit fission or instant transmission. So cloning, healing, giant, turning giant. Then Chugesh, he's able to basically be giant and clone. That's it. But we're gonna talk about what Gohan's doing on Earth. On Earth, Gohan was able to master on Yardrat. He's able to master the Yardrat techniques and master Super Saiyan 1 at least. But then in the time chamber, he was able to master Super Saiyan, not master, but learn Super Saiyan 2, and learn some Namekian abilities, being enhanced hearing, hardened skin, slight regeneration, like he can't regrow his whole arm or leg, but like if he loses his hand and loses his hand or a few fingers, he's able to regenerate that, like slight regeneration. Goku can do the same at this point. And Goku also learned telepathy and mind reading. Then Gohan's also able to do like kind of like the bio armor, but it's not permanent. Like it's not like biological armor, it's basically key armor. Like he just forms around whatever limb he wants it to, or on his body for a certain amount of time, like 5 minutes at most. And Goku's able to basically learn enhanced hearing, hardened skin, regeneration, but it's able to regenerate half a limb. Like if his whole arm is not able to regrow like all the way up to his elbow, and that's it. And then he's able to learn how to be stretchy and flexible, like Piccolo is. Then materialization, and telekinesis and telepathy. He had a lot of spare time. But yeah, so basically everyone has plus Raditz and Gine and Yamoshi. Yamoshi masters every single Yardrat techniques, every single Yardrat technique, and Raditz is just now mastering Super Saiyan 1. Gine is just now unlocking Super Saiyan 1. But yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Tora, Fasha, Bargos, Shugesh, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Nappa, Bardock, King Vegeta, Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, Roshi, Piccolo, Yamoshi, Raditz, and Gine. So they have 18 warriors. So, and Cell during this time mastered Super Saiyan 1, mastered Super Saiyan 2, mastered 13 transformation, and basically mastered every single ability to every single android. Now eventually, when they instant transmission to Earth, everyone just had like pairs up in instant transmissions. When they arrive on this vacant planet, they kind of Cell's like, all right, first one up can be Tora. Tora and Cell fight, and Tora is able to do a few moves, and so this doesn't really impress Cell. Cell's base form is able to beat Tora. The Cell mastered every single Namekian technique, because everyone's DNA that he has started learning some form of every single Namekian technique. He already has it. He's mastered it. So Cell is able to match every single one of Tora's techniques and beat him because he even has more than Tora. And then next up would be Fasha. Fasha isn't really too much on the level of anyone there right now. So she loses. And Gine is a bit stronger than Fasha because she's trained a lot more than Fasha has currently. So, yeah. Or a lot harder. And Borgos loses pretty easily. Same with Shugesh. They don't even put up a good fight. Well, Fasha didn't either, but Tora put up the best fight out of Bardock's squad currently. Then, next up would be Piccolo. Hold up, I'm right down. Yamoshi. Raditz. Alright, let's head right down. So next up, let's say it's Raditz. Raditz is mastered Super Saiyan 1, begins fighting Cell, and Piccolo, Raditz is able to actually use cloning a bit differently, because when he goes for a punch, immediately a clone will appear. The punch will be like a punch misses or is blocked, a clone appears, and would pull apart Cell's arms or hold them back, and then Raditz brings an onslaught of punches to the face as hard as he can. And eventually doesn't really work out too well for him, but he's like Cell does deem it impressive and strategic. And then, Yamoshi doesn't fight. he just has a vessel. It's a vessel. Like once this whole thing is over, then he'll leave. But if they all lose, that's when he'll intervene. But if they don't lose, then he has no reason to be here. And Cell doesn't have Yamashi's DNA or anyone else's DNA. He just has all the same moves they do. This is actually doing it. Yamashi fight him, but Yamashi legit one-shots him. Then Cell's like, you don't count. So he's backed off. But I'm shocked that Yamashi is that strong to one-shot Cell. Yamashi punched him halfway across the planet, and Cell had to take an hour to wake up. And that's when Whis is like, oh, he's strong, have fun. Too bad he's gonna kill himself when this is over. Which is what Yamashi plans to do. He's friends with King Kai and he's gonna miss him. But yeah. Now next up would be Guinea, and Guinea loses horribly because she's just now tapping into Super Saiyan. And the only ability she has would be healing. That's it. Usually she's planning to be the medic, but Cell managed to fight, and well, she wanted to help out her son and her husband, so she fought and lost horribly. But Cell basically just punch her in the ribs and break every single one of them, and then headbutt her. But Goku caught her in midair and healed her, but put her back down, saying, alright, she loses. No matter what, she loses. Now Piccolo. Now Cell was not aware of the Namekian version of Super Saiyan, so when he fights Piccolo, and Piccolo begins using, he uses every single Namekian ability possible. It's not the Blue Eye technique or the Soul Control or anything like that. Any ability suited to battle, that's what he uses. Eventually, when Piccolo's fighting Cell, Piccolo eventually is able to use Soul Control and split apart into different parts of himself. He's able to split apart every single bit of Namekian that he has, Dragon Namekian, the Demon Namekian, the Super Namekian, every single Namekian race he has, he splits those apart. So when they're split apart, well, it's very cool, so to say. So now these parts are being fighting Cell, and Cell is about to kill one of them. They all fuse together into the original Piccolo again. And basically just confusing the hell out of Cell, because they can all go to their own version of Super Saiyan and use Kaioken, which is basically 26 billion for each person. He was above 26 billion, but still, it's a lot of, it's just very strong power that can beat him. So, yeah. And eventually, Piccolo does lose, but Cell had lost an arm in the fight with Piccolo and had a hole punch through him. And he didn't say Piccolo is probably the most impressive fight yet. Then versus Roshi. Well, Roshi loses horribly as well. Roshi at this point is on the level of I'd put Raditz maybe or Guinea, Raditz or Guinea. He's that level. I'll give him Raditz level, even Raditz at Super Saiyan. I'll give him that because Raditz, only useful ability he has is cloning. So yeah, Roshi just has big Kaioken. So yeah, Roshi loses as well. Then Yamcha's about as strong as Guinea, and she lost horribly, so he does too. Krillin got a bit stronger to be able to use Kaioken times 7, but still that's not enough, and Tien's able to max out his Kaioken times 11. Even more than Goku can, but still not enough. And he loses, so yeah. So now once Piccolo, Roshi, Yamcha, Krillin, Tien, Tora, Fasha, Borgos, Shugesh, Raditz, and Guinea, they all lose. So, what's left is going to be... I think I said Tora lost, but I don't think he fought yet. If he did, screw it, I'm redoing the fight. Well, Tora is basically every single technique except for Spirit Vision, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. But Tora was able to use a lot of the moves on Piccolo, not Piccolo, on Cell, and he's using the clone technique the same way Raditz does, but just right before Cell's going to move to dodge, then the clone's made, and Cell doesn't have any room to dodge anywhere. Until it admits that's even more strategic than Raditz. Or if a block is going to be made, then his arm's going up, clones are made, and pulls arms down, he's punched right in the face. And Tora's a Super Saiyan, so it's working. And then Tora eventually is able to use instant transmission and grab onto Cell, and basically try to pull him apart. It's beginning to work until Cell just powers up to his I guess Cell will go to his Android 13 power up, and he just buffs up and his whole body comes back together, and he just defeats Tora like that by almost killing him, by breaking his back, and kind of basically pulls a Bane, shatters his spine. Then King Vegeta versus Cell. Now, King Vegeta mastered every single ability, just like Vegeta and Goku and Bardock and everyone else. Not everyone else, but a lot of them. And as King Vegeta fights Cell, he's able to pull off a Force Spirit Fission, and deemed Android 13's ability pretty troublesome because it was comparing to Goku. Until Goku had used Super Saiyan mixed with Kaioken. But with this, he's able to Force Spirit Fission, and, well, to his joy, or to his amusement, he forces out Android 13. Immediately, as Cell tries to get him back, Android 13 is killed. And Android 13 wasn't in the tournament, and was by Goku, who's not a fighter. So Cell's like, we can't do this, it's cheating. But as Goku says, no, you were cheating. 13 isn't a fighter. So, and I'm not fighting currently, so I can do whatever I want. Now, Cell realized how dangerous Force Spirit Fission is, and it did concern him, but yeah. So Cell instantly he evaded the last Force Spirit Fission, and immediately had jumped right up above King Vegeta, shoving his tail into his shoulder, and he was able to kind of just force King Vegeta into the air, and then had to use a Ki Blast to kill him, or almost kill him. Yamauchi blocked it, saying doesn't need King Vegeta, or King Vegeta doesn't want to be dead again, so he could have just saved his life. He was able to put him back down, but King Vegeta admits he lost. Now Bardock. Bardock isn't equal to Goku, but is still insanely strong, and stronger than King Vegeta even. Stronger than Nappa. Stronger than Nappa, so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, Bardock's the 5th strongest there. And Tora put up the best fight because he used the better strategies, because he's one of the smarter ones there, so, yeah. Yeah, Piccolo is one of the strongest fight so far, but, Piccolo was the strongest opponent, but Tora was the smartest and the most troublesome. So he got the best fight overall. But, yeah, Bardock still loses to King Vegeta. Not King Jimmy, still loses to Cell. Basically just having almost a hole punch through him, but he's able to negate a lot of the damage by healing it. With that, basically he's able to pull it out, pulls out Cell's arm, and just quite literally blows apart his arm. So he's able to blow apart Cell's arm. He had jumped right at Cell's arm is blown apart. He jumps at him, and he had used turning into a giant to trick Cell. But Cell didn't realize one thing: his arm was blown apart. He's focused on healing it and looked down at it. Only the spectators had saw it. Bardock made a clone that turned into a giant. So as that clone is blown apart, suddenly more clones appear, or more Bardocks appear, and they turn giant. But as one's destroyed, another one comes at him. Either Cell wasting ki by multiple Ki Blasts. Eventually, Bardock's able to heal and regain some ki, but he's losing a bit of it at the same time. But Cell is able to get a lock on Bardock. He fires a Ki Blast, and Bardock ends transmissions in front of him, and fires a Ki Blast big enough to incinerate half of Cell's body. Cell regrows by trying to punch Bardock, but Bardock already ends transmissioned away, and proceeds to kick around Cell. Cell and Bardock are fighting, and till then, Cell eventually does go Super Saiyan 1, and punches Bardock into the ground, and it knocks him out in one blow. So yeah, now next opponent, Nappa. So Nappa and Cell fight, it's not even a challenge really. Nappa is about as strong as Tora, but Tora is more strategic. So you guys are power levels maybe equal, but Tora would win a fight. So Nappa loses a lot worse. At best, he can go Super Saiyan 1 mastered, and Cell can do that same thing pretty easily, and just beats Nappa in his base form without Entry 13's help or anything. So yeah. So now Gohan. Now Gohan has unlocked Kaioken and is able to do Kaioken times 3. His full power is 4.5 billion. 4.5 times. Pretty sure I said 5, so I'm gonna pause real quick. So I'm pretty sure I said Gohan up next. Gohan did unlock Kaioken times 5. So Gohan Kaioken times 5 is going to be 22.5 billion. Plus he's using Super Saiyan. He does have Super Saiyan 2, but Super Saiyan 2 is like Kaioken, he can barely use it. So, yeah, Kaioken times 5 can use it for a short amount of time, but 22.5 billion times that by 100, 225 billion. So, this would give it, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So that, he basically just fights Cell at 225 billion and still loses. Plus, Super Saiyan 2 plus Kaioken does tear him down in 1 minute. So, it tears down Gohan. Like, it's just too much for Gohan's body to handle. He's like what, 10 or 11? Gohan's body just sheerly worn out. But Cell to admit, Gohan was a pretty hard opponent, even though the fight lasted two whole minutes. Well, 1 minute for Gohan going full power. The first minute was mainly just Gohan blasting out techniques to see what Cell could and couldn't avoid, but just showed pointless. But now Vegeta. So Vegeta is able to do Kaioken times what was it? I'll just say his full power was Super Saiyan. Should I say it gave him Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 1? I should say 1, but pretty sure Super Saiyan 2. His full power is 33 billion. So 33 billion is actually able to almost defeat Cell. Because, well, actually no, it wouldn't be 33 billion with Super Saiyan 2. I wrote it down wrong. It's 330 billion. He almost defeats Cell, but Cell had used his Super Saiyan 2 mastered with Kaioken, and his body basically constantly healing. That's what he can do. Well, he has Piccolo's abilities to heal, plus regular Namekian, plus mastered your dreading techniques, and mastered Namekian techniques. He's able to basically constantly keep healing himself and regenerating even with Kaioken activated. So he basically did this with little to no effort. And it was pretty damn impressive. I keep messing up Gohan and Vegeta's numbers. Gohan was in the 20 billions, Vegeta was in the 30 billions. Goku's the strongest one. I realized that his numbers were written down perfectly. Gohan and Vegeta's, they just had very, 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 very poorly placed B's and everything. They look like different numbers. So, excuse my bad handwriting. Gohan was at 22 billion. Then Vegeta was at 33 billion. 33.5 billion. Yeah. But Vegeta still lost, but barely. It basically just his body is being torn apart. And then Cell is able to go a lot farther. So, yeah. But now we go to Cell versus Goku, the finale. Goku immediately would shoot a Super Saiyan 2, and Super Saiyan 2 power level is 15 billion. So when Cell began fighting, Goku's basically, he had copied everyone's techniques, or how they used them, and kind of switches up from Cell from time to time. Cell has seen techniques before, and pretty recently, so he's able to adapt to them pretty fast, but it's still kind of weird for Cell. Because someone else a lot stronger, faster, and smarter, not smarter, but someone else with better tactical genius is using them. So, yeah. But eventually Goku's able to do like Super Saiyan 2 mastered, so 15 billion times 10, he would bumps it up to 150 billion. And so keep fighting, and so him keep fighting. Cell has to admit this is like pretty damn troublesome because he's losing pretty horribly. In this fight, Cell awakens his Kaioken, not awakens it, but is able to use it a lot farther like Goku, and would go to times 10, and now this is 190 billion. With Cell and Goku keep on fighting. Goku's being outmatched heavily by Cell now. Now Goku has to push past his limits. So now he would go to Kaioken times 12. Because this is coughing up blood, and only at 180 billion, barely below Cell. With Cell keep trading blows after blow after blow after blow. Eventually Goku would push it up a bit, and Super Saiyan will get some more powerful. His hair begins growing slightly, but not as long as Super Saiyan 3. He's getting there, but actually able to use his strong final attack, and basically by channeling every single ounce of ki into his fist, and putting Cell basically just as hard as he can, and this is basically just Dragon Fist. When he uses it, it sends Cell flying in the air, obliterating him, and obliterating any planet in his way. But luckily these planets are pretty vacant, there's not a single bit of life on it. But everyone had saw Goku's Dragon Fist power, and he obliterated Cell and planet after planet after planet. Now she was even amazed. He didn't think getting that strong was possible, without God Ki at least. It was still pretty cool. But now, with Cell being defeated, Goku is still coughing up a little bit of blood. So, yeah. fell over, and everyone that had healing ability began killing Goku, because Goku didn't have enough ki to do it. So, yep. Now once everyone leaves, able to deconstruct the arena, and kind of erases every sign of the planets that were around. Now we go to basically just, I guess, the few years of peace. Bulma is moved off Yardrat with Chi-Chi and Trunks, and put back, well, plus her family, her parents and tights and everything. Everyone that was moved to was moved to Namek, were brought back to Earth, and they chill for the next 5 years, I think 8 years actually, maybe 8 years. So yeah, let's say it's 7 years to be safe, in case I messed up the ages. 7 years just to be safe, and go on something Spadell. But Gohan is a lot more into training, because, well, Goku still kind of wished back everyone, so yeah. Or Piccolo did for Goku. Yeah, Piccolo still Kami, and Gohan, well, Chi-Chi will still focus on making Gohan a scholar, but he basically trains with Piccolo daily, and Piccolo's smartest being alive, so it works for Chi-Chi. And then, well, Goten is born, and Chi-Chi basically Chi-Chi was told by Bulma that she was a little too, not too firm, but a little too, I guess, I have to think of a word. It's hard. Strict. That's what the thing is. Basically, Chi-Chi was a little too strict on Gohan not wanting Gohan to fight. So, because of that, Gohan wasn't used to combat a whole lot. Yeah, Goku had to keep him taught him a few moves from time to time. It was just when only times were tough was when Gohan was allowed to fight, not just learn. He wasn't allowed to learn casually like Goku did. So it was just really messed up for him. Yeah, yes, he was still strong by default, but he had to rush it, so he could have been stronger, but he wasn't. With this, Chi-Chi is very, very lenient with Goten, and, well, he basically learns from Piccolo as well. But Goten basically just learns a lot more. For 12 hours, he trains with Goku during the day. Then when it gets to night, he basically learns from Piccolo until he has to go to bed. Pause real quick. Alright. So, Goku would just talk to, he kind of just gets along with his family. When Cell was defeated, Android 18, 19, 17, and 18, they were spat out, of course. If I didn't mention that, they were spat out, of course. Or if Cell was obliterated and they got flung out in the process. But, yeah, so Krillin's married at 18. 17, well, everyone kept a closer watch on them. And eventually 17, well, due to him having everyone watch him, Bulma actually just offers him a job at Capsule Corp, so he takes it. So, yeah, and it does actually pay well, so 17 takes it. And 18 eventually is able to work at Capsule Corp as well, when 17 tells her how much he gets paid, at least. So, yeah. Now, Krillin does still get a job at the cop. Everyone just gets every single job they have in Super. Well, Gohan, he doesn't really need to attend school. Actually, he actually just attends school as I guess, you can call it, fucking, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Keep jumping on my words. I guess you can say that Gohan's an assistant teacher, learning how to be a teacher, or how to become one, or what teachers do on a daily basis. He's still a great Saiyan and is a lot stronger. So means Videl is actually a good teacher because he watches Piccolo teach constantly to Goten, and he teaches Goten himself occasionally. So it's pretty fun. So now with this, Goku would basically Gohan still is revealed to be the Great Saiyaman, but Videl says Gohan's a Great Saiyaman, and she's not wrong. But she's also able to get a lot stronger really fast. Because we'll have about time chamber. It doesn't really do physical cost. It does power cost. You're strong, but your power boosted in the future. It'll make fights pretty boring for a bit, or it can just be fun for you. Goku makes it boring. But due to Goku's immense power, he has met the Kais before. because they saw how strong he was. Just a single punch and the shockwave had eradicated planets. So it was very impressive. So they thought that was just very cool, in all honesty. Then eventually Goku would... he didn't train with the Z-Sword, he was just invited to train with the Kais. But the Z-Sword isn't broken just yet. Pause. So, the Z-Sword isn't broken, but Goku does know of it. And due to Goku's kind of... Well, he mastered Super Saiyan 2. He didn't want to tap into the power he was tapping into when he was fighting Cell. It was like brief Super Saiyan 3, and his power just kept rising. His power just kept rising and rising and rising. But eventually he's able to surpass Cell, but barely. He was able to surpass Cell, but barely do it. Like, his power reached 200 billion, and that was that. So now we basically just go to the tournament they'll participate in. And Satan is not currently the strongest man in the world because no one knew about the tournament. But, well, basically, Gohan is kind of known as the smartest human. People think he's human. And then, well, we have 17 and 18, and then kind of reveals artificial intelligence. Like, basically, these characters are all revealed as, like, different kinds of people. Roshi is still known as Muten Roshi and really strong, but Tien is kind of known as, like, his strongest student, as Tien does basically live with Roshi. Then Krillin is also kind of known as, like, the person who's going to take over after Roshi dies, because, well, if Roshi dies. Because Tien doesn't want to, he's basically going to be like, Krillin's assistant teacher. And then 17 and 18 artificial intelligence, made by Capsule Corp. But was able to replace their tech with Capsule Corp tech. So they're not stronger than they were with Jiro, and their ki is actually endless or infinite. And then Goku, well, when they actually ask who the strongest of the Z fighters are, they say the strongest one doesn't train on this planet. But Oma kind of shows them a planet through a different telescope, basically with a vacant planet where Namek used to be. So they're like, oh yeah, he's trained there. And no one believes it, because they don't see a thing, until they just see the planet being cratered, but then restored after a bit. They have to meet Goku, and, well, it works. They basically go on to, like, hey, someone wants to meet you. Goku thinks another opponent, so he transitions to Earth, and you see his press. And he looks like how you see here. The scar on his head, he got that from Cell. Well, he still has the scar on his chest from Bardock. So yeah. Now, while he's just, I guess, he's not dead, but, well, he's just there. Press kind of annoys him, but he's basically kind of the strongest man in the world, and they want to know about how he became this strong. He kind of talks about Cell, Demon King Piccolo, and I'm shocked that he was the one that beat Demon King Piccolo. Like, oh, that's impressive. And the old announcer from, like, the old tournaments, like, oh yeah, he was the guy that beat Demon King Piccolo. He's how strong he is. He fought against Jackie Chun, who was revealed to be Roshi, and was actually super strong. So it was just very impressive to them all. But now we'd go to just, you can say just like the tournament. Goku isn't participating, but more or less he's like the supervisor of it. And the tournament is basically known as like the strongest on Earth. The strongest on Earth tournament. And Goku, Krillin, Goku, Tien, and Vegeta are supervising it. Because, well, Goku has a loud mouth, so he's like, oh yeah, these guys did this, but they became good. So they spectate us and everything, and basically says that Vegeta's second strongest to him, like Vegeta's his rival, which isn't wrong. But it isn't say, like, he says Gohan is his son, but they don't say that they're aliens. Like, hey, this guy attacked us at one point and did bad things. But yeah, so eventually we have the tournament. Popovich and Yamu, and everybody else fights Popovich. Due to her getting, well, not her, due to Gohan being really good at teaching. Well, Vidal's taught perfectly. Like, she saw how to fly, how to use ki. Popovich can't even touch her. When he's able to grab her, she outmuscles him and just basically slams his head into the ground and knocks him out. So once he's knocked out, we'd go to like just Yamu trying to attack Vidal, and Gohan just flicks him into a wall and he's unconscious. And we'd have just something kind of going on, but Shin and Kibito, well, they're still watching. Goku's talking to them, and they actually offer Goku the Z-Sword to defeat Majin Buu. Goku's kind of like swinging it around recklessly, and he's learning how to use the sword currently. Or like members of Bardock's squad, and King Vegeta is just kind of hanging out with Trunks. But yeah, but Goku basically learned how to use his sword from like random Saiyans that he brought back to life, like Tora or Pasha or Shugesh. They give him tips on how to use the sword, like some stuff that we've seen. So Goku used like one basic swing, and then he swung too hard and hit the ground and shattered. But it does unleash Elder Kai, and Elder Kai does offer to unlock Goku's potential, but somewhere else, because Earth will be a little too dangerous. And Goku's not even a fighter currently, so he's like, yeah, sure, let's head up to the. Like, he's like, well, how long will it take? Because you seem like it's kind of old, and you said you're rusty. How long will it take? And Elder Kai's like, oh, it'll take me 24 hours. Goku's like, the time chamber, that makes time go faster, so we can do that. And yeah. Actually, everyone isn't fighting yet, but their potential is going to be unlocked. So it's unlocked, it's unlocked in the time chamber, and it takes 2 hours. And, well, the tournament would start right as they're all done. So they arrive, the tournament starts, and Vegeta isn't participating because everyone knows who he is. Artificial intelligence, people kind of think just some dumb robot, so they think they can beat it. Because, like, they said androids, they immediately assume robot, not cyborg or anything. That's kind of what they are. They used to be humans, but they're still human-ish. But yeah, so even Vidal's potential was unlocked, but I'm going to go back to the current now. I don't know why I messed up the whole timeline thing, but not timeline, but the whole time same thing. Now, Goku still watches and supervises until eventually Babidi would appear and just demand Ki because Popovic and Yamu were defeated. We immense Ki with Pui Pui, Ida, and Dabra attacking. Dabra attacks Goku first, thinking him as the biggest threat. But when Dabra gets close to Goku, suddenly Gohan just clotheslines his head off. Gohan just appears behind him trying to clothesline him, and his head comes off. Then Bardock just defeats not Pee-Pee. I'm dumb. Bardock defeats Pui Pui, and then Babidi is killed by Gine because she's like, you scared my grandson because it's like Goten Babidi appeared right in front of Gohan and not Gohan, in front of Goten, and Goten just shrieked out in fear, and then the motherly instincts of Gine kicked in and she killed Babidi. But Gine come right in Super Saiyan out of just anger, or not anger, but out of concern. Quite literally just fed Boo a decent amount, not enough to unlock him, but a decent amount. But Babidi kind of was able to tap into someone's Majin, and that was basically King Vegeta, and I forgot to mention, Yamoshi did kill himself. He did kill himself because he had no reason to be alive. He's too strong for this world. He could have defeated Boo in one blow, like he did Cell. Well, he held back in Cell even, but yeah. But back to just this, so. Babidi was able to use Majin on most of Bardock's squad, just not Tora, him, or Gine. But Raditz, Vegeta, and King Vegeta, they're the ones that got affected by the Majin. So, yep. Now Piccolo, he had basically learned every single American technique, just not the God Ki technique. That's it. So he'd been fighting against basically Majin Raditz and Majin all of Bardock's squad mainly. Eventually, he just said Bardock's focus on Raditz and King Vegeta. I'll focus on my squad. Goku can fight Vegeta. So as they're doing this, Piccolo kind of is feeding Boo by fighting Raditz, but Raditz is the main one feeding Boo. Piccolo is able to kind of just go through Super Saiyan or Super Namekian form and just one-shot Raditz eventually. Because every single Saiyan has Super Saiyan 2 at least now. But Goku has Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta, and Gohan has Super Saiyan 3, and Vegeta has Goku, Vegeta, Bardock, and Gohan. They have Super Saiyan 3. But back to this whole thing. So, eventually with this, I guess everyone, so Piccolo's able to, evade Raditz beat him. But Raditz already fed Boo to get Boo's at half power. And Bardock's squad tried to defeat them fast, so Boo's egg isn't fed, but Boo's egg is now at 80%. We did defeat them fast enough for them not to feed the whole egg. Tora helped a bit in his base form, basically by containing them, but that was it. Well, Goku versus Vegeta. Vegeta powered to Super Saiyan 3, at full power with Kaioken enhancing it, going to the trillions. I'm not gonna estimate power anymore. I'm tired of doing math on my winter break. Yeah, basically Vegeta fed all of Majin Buu, and his egg is now hatched. And Goku's like, "Damn it, Vegeta, you fool!" And just basically gestures at Vegeta using Kaioken at full power, and then uses Super Saiyan 2, mastered, and defeats Vegeta in one blow. I forgot who I said defeated King Vegeta. Who was it? Let's say Bardock and Tora finished up with their squad, and started fighting King Vegeta, and Bardock won. But yeah, Bardock could have defeated his squad easily, just didn't want to hurt them, so he didn't hold back. But him and King Vegeta are rivals, so he didn't hold back a single bit against King Vegeta and one-shot the hell out of him. Almost killed him, but yeah. So Buu's unleashed, and the closest person to him was actually Bardock and King Vegeta and Tora. So he absorbed those three. Well, once he's Super Buu, he absorbed those three. Then absorbs all of Bardock's squad, and proceeds to fight everyone else. As they all fight, well, Goku and Buu fight, and Buu does deem Goku impressive and tries to absorb him, but he evades it. But he didn't know Gohan was right behind him. Because Gohan had dashed right behind Goku, thinking that Goku could make an opening, but he dodges Buu's attack. And Goku immediately realized that Gohan was in front of him, not in front of him, behind him. And before he can pull Gohan away, Gohan turned into chocolate and then eaten. And now he has Gohan to build Gohan Super Saiyan 3 power alongside Bardock's. But due to Vegeta already being unconscious, Buu appears right by Vegeta, absorbs him, and eventually every single Z fighter has to attack, but only ones left would be 17, 18, and Goku. Goku's just in amazement. Well, plus Trunks and Goten, they're still around, but Goku had told them to basically run. Well, and Piccolo's okay. He's just spectating because he didn't want to reveal himself to the mortals, but once every single bit of the humans had ran away, or the non-Z fighters had ran away, this leads to Piccolo appearing, and immediately told Goten and Trunks how to fuse. Like, they already knew how to fuse. Well, Goten already knew how to fuse, because he did it with Gohan once. But Trunks is able to pick it up after 5 minutes, and he's able to do it. They fuse and begin fighting Super Buu, and with them both already being able to go Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3 is a breeze, but then they begin pushing it. So in pushing it, their hair grows out a lot more, and it begins getting spiky. Well, they kind of forcibly tapped into Rage Boost, because they were already pretty upset about what happened. So, with their Rage Boost plus Super Saiyan 3 power, and they don't know Kaioken yet, but they're still pretty strong. The Rage Boost kind of adds the same power as like a Ozaru Rasp Boost, but I did a 15 times power for Goku. These guys basically being hybrids, I'll give them a 40 times boost, so let me do the math on that. So Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, with a little bit of Rage Boost, is at 25 quadrillion. We've been fighting Super Buu. Super Buu is, well, he's still super strong, but Gotenks outclasses him by a lot at this point. Super Buu does have a lot more technique in his arsenal, and is able to use Spirit Fission and divide Gotenks into Goten and Trunks, and absorbs them both. Now with this, a lot of people inside Super Buu are unconscious or were knocked unconscious. So, Gotenks Gohan isn't absorbed yet. So, it's basically just Goten and Trunks are the only ones that are awake. So they fuse inside Super Buu and begin kind of punching around him by freeing everyone. Well, free everyone, then punch around. They all do. But this leads to, Gohan was absorbed. So I guess he's not unconscious, but he's freed. And it leaves basically Goku and the two androids to fight Super Buu, who's being, I guess, messed up. So, but eventually with this, Goku, the two androids begin fighting Buu. Buu begins losing because Goku begins pushing Super Saiyan 3. But then his power begins increasing as he uses the same Rage Boost that Gotenks did. This Rage Boost isn't as good, it's around 5 times multiplier. And Goku didn't really train the whole time, he was actually busy on raising his kids. So raising Goten, he didn't really train at all. He just taught Goten the basic martial arts, and that was it. But once Goten was able to be in school, that was left to Piccolo, and then Goku was focused on being a good husband, so he didn't focus on training whatsoever. But still, his power level was the same as it was at the end of the Cell Saga. In the Cell Saga, his power level was still going to be 150 million. Well, actually it was replaced by 75 billion, but 75 billion can still be multiplied. 175 billion, 7.5 billion. But, yeah. Now Goku at full power, Super Saiyan 3, 5 times rage boost. Super Saiyan 3 is a 1000 multiplier. Fuck, more math. I said we wouldn't do any more, and I have to do more. So, Goku and the two androids began fighting Cell. What's all I mean? Fighting Boo. Let's fight Boo. Well, Boo's kind of equal terms with him because he's being overpowered. Which the two androids are absorbed. Once they're absorbed, well, Boo's able to get a little bit more power, means overwhelming Goku. So Goku begins pushing every single ounce of his power to its just, he's pushing his body to its limit. So as his body is going to his limit, it's just too much, I guess. Then he goes to go Super Saiyan 3, mixing it with Kaioken, and then using a rage boost. Well, he does that. Most power level would reach, I'm pretty sure the number was 90 trillion. It was. He's not stronger than Gotenks, but he's able to use Spirit Vision. This Goku at full power is. He's able to actually unfuse a few people, being the androids, Gotenks, and Gohan. So for unfuse, Goku begins using his full power against them, and Gotenks realize they're stronger than Goku. But they still think it's pretty impressive, and they both just be an overwhelming Goku. If they do that, eventually Goku is torn apart. Not Goku, I mean. Boo's torn apart, and doesn't absorb anyone else, because he's... Eventually, Goku and Gotenks are able to defeat him. Other people that are awake, but they're still pretty weak. Gotenks and Goku aren't. But this ends the Boo arc. The Boo arc is ended. And, because Boo just reverts back to being Fat Boo, so at some point. The runs with Mr. Satan. And, yeah. Now we have the 5-year piece. Goku didn't really train, but eventually Beerus is going to still be there. Goku just is actually off training at the World of the Kais, just because that's where he trains most of the time. This is kind of where all the Saiyans train. And Goku did unlock the materialization ability, and Piccolo did. Piccolo and him are the ones that have it, so they began kind of pushing it with the Kai's creation magic. They're being able to create small objects now, like swords, beds, that kind of stuff. But eventually, once they're done, they basically be in the levels of destroyers, or maybe even angels, and be able to use the same abilities as them both. Now with this, we basically just go to just when Beerus does arrive at Bulma's birthday party. When this happens, well, long story short, base Goku now is on the same level as Super Saiyan 3 Rage boosted Gotenks. Well, he realized that his own son and some other, basically his own son, Vegeta's son, those guys are stronger than him, and he's pretty pissed off at that because he barely even trained his son, someone with ki control. That's what Piccolo's doing. So he does basically quadruple the difficulty as his own kids. So basically trains that hard and just grows insanely strong. So his base power levels down at the full power of not Super Saiyan 3, but the full power of Gotenks. So yeah, Tell imagine a Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3 plus his rage boosted Kaioken forms. That's when he has mastered Kaioken because how much he uses it. Because he mixes it into all of his forms, because that's what he found best, because it doesn't really tear his body apart. Well, it does, but he reduced the cost of it with Dragon Balls. A while ago he did that, but he uses it to the level where it tears him apart again. When Beerus arrives, little Super Saiyan God, Goku doesn't know how to do the ritual already. So with that, Yamashi basically tells Goku, oh, here's how you do the ritual in case you forgot. And, he knows how to do the ritual. Kind of just had to think of it. Well, first ask Yamashi, and Yamashi reminded him perfectly. Then Goku's like, alright, here's how to do Super Saiyan God. You need 5 Saiyans. So, you have pure-hearted Saiyans. So, Gine, Goten, Trunks, Gohan, and, Vegeta, you get to be pure-hearted. He wasn't canon, but I don't think he is at all. So yeah, those guys, they channel their ki into Goku, and he becomes Super Saiyan God, and he fights Beerus. He pushes Beerus to 85% of his power. So the fight is still pretty insane. But, well, Goku's kind of just sensing out ki for each planet they're on, so he's holding himself back. He actually forces Beerus to go 70%, but he could have pushed Beerus to 85%. Beerus addresses Goku's holding back and asks why at the end of the fight. Everyone's kind of shocked Goku's holding back. Even the Kais were, and the universe is still coming apart. He's trying to clash fists. What Goku would say, he's sensing out life forms on other planets, and if they were on a planet with tons of life forms, he didn't want to fight. Because they could destroy them all. Basically, Beerus is like, damn it, Goku, don't hold back on me next time. So, yeah. I guess the next important thing would probably be, like, just them training, then Frieza's resurrection. But King Cold is also going to be resurrected in this time, because I want him to. Yeah, King Cold and Frieza are both resurrected, and they do attack. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Nappa, Bardock, King Vegeta, Tora, and Piccolo, they're all off planet. All of them are. That would leave Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, Roshi, Fasha, Borgos, Shugesh, Raditz, and Gine. That leaves only defenders plus Goten and Trunks. That leaves them. But don't underestimate Gotenks. But Frieza and King Cold trained together for 7 months, which doesn't make them both stronger makes Frieza stronger than he was canonically. And King Cold's base form now rivals Golden Frieza at full power. Base form Frieza would annihilate Golden Frieza at full power. Not base form, but like his final form, 100%, would now annihilate Golden Frieza at full power. Then if he would go to Golden Frieza, it would destroy that Frieza. But yeah. Like King Cold and Frieza are now, if they were to go Golden Frieza at full power, they both would, like they were to go the gold power, they'd both annihilate. And like just heavy R word Frieza. Golden Frieza, canonically. But we go to basically just when they're there. Now, these guys been wiping out every single one of Frieza's soldiers pretty easily. Then it comes Frieza and King Cold. They've been losing. But Goten and Trunks, well, they both have Super Saiyan 3 in their base forms now, due to Piccolo training them that hard. But Whister says, "Oh, no worries. Saiyans still don't need Saiyans do sense Frieza, and that's when Whister's like, no need. And Piccolo, you can say here too. There's no need to go down to Earth. They have it. Like Goten and Trunks have it perfectly covered. No need." So Goten and Trunks fuse into Gotenks, and they use their Super Saiyan 4, not Super Saiyan 4. I mean Super Saiyan 3 with Kaioken times 2 and a slight rage boost. They learn to control that from Piccolo. So they've been fighting King Cold and obliterate him, and then they kill Frieza. With that, they unfuse, and they're both unconscious. That was too much power at once, because they had to do it really fast, but also go all out immediately. So yeah. But now you basically just get to just Universe 6. With the Universe 6 saga, we'll obviously see Champa and Vados arrive, but you see Tora, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Nappa, Bardock, King Vegeta, and Piccolo all training on Beerus' planet. Well, Goku isn't there. This time he's training with the Kais, and so is Piccolo, because those two are basically becoming like... If Whis already thinks of Goku and Piccolo's potential superhuman Kais in training, because now Goku's on the level of like creating countries alongside Piccolo. Well, Piccolo can do more than countries. He can do like 3 countries at once, and then Goku can just like, do one whole country. Like they are getting that good. Oh no! Basically Piccolo can make a continent. Screw it. That's what it would be. But yeah, so that's when we was like, oh, if Shin were to die, and Kibito can't fit the role of being a Kai, or Supreme Kai, Goku and Piccolo could probably do it themselves, because they're both masters of martial arts and they're all really strong. So I guess we just have just Champa kind of questioning them, and Beerus is like, "Oh yeah, I was training two other guys, but Whis was, but they also train under the Kais, because this Kais had them as students first, because these guys are potential Kais, so they are just training with them currently." Whis says, "Oh, they're the jack of all trades. The Namekian and Saiyan. Well, Saiyan has the potential to be a god of destruction, but has the heart or has the will of an angel, essentially. He doesn't really want to get involved because, well, he doesn't get strong just for no rhyme or reason, but doesn't have any desire to get involved, doesn't have to. Goku got to calm down, because, except for when Goten was born, he focused on being a good husband and good father, not just some fighter. They're kind of like an angel in a sense, like just an angel that trains a lot. That's kind of what he is. Like the power of a destroyer, but an angel that trains. Now, immediately Champa didn't believe this, and Champa, I believe, is weaker than Beerus, and this Goku could have pushed Beerus to 85%, so when Beerus does actually summon or when Whis would summon Goku does have Super Saiyan Blue at this point. He already had Master Super Saiyan God, like the first week after meeting Beerus, because of Yamoshi helping him. Piccolo also has his full power Namekian form that's on the level of Super Saiyan Blue Goku as well. Like this Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So him and Piccolo are the strongest mortals. Yeah, so Goku basically says like fight Piccolo first, because I'm outclass Piccolo in everything, just not Namekian techniques. But yeah, so Champa will fight. Well, first Beerus wants to fight Piccolo. Just wants to get like a sample where they are. And long story short, Beerus annihilates his whole world. Just not like he annihilates every single thing around his planet and annihilates dozens in the process. But if they're on planets with living life forms, well, as like they are fighting, if something being destroyed, Piccolo is reviving it as it happens, even life forms, or healing them. Which does lead to Beerus going to 88%, not 95%, and is pretty disappointed. But it calls for the Kais to revive the whole universe, not the whole universe, but the whole realm that Beerus is in. And then Piccolo versus Champa, that's postponed because he fought Beerus. But now Goku, well, Piccolo does have Kaioken and did use it, but Goku has mastered Kaioken, so you want to see what he can do against Champa. Beerus is also pretty tired right now. He's like, that was a lot of power I had used. I'm rest for a bit. But now Champa versus Goku. But Whis doesn't know the power of this, doesn't know the full power of Goku, and doesn't know he will beat Champa and could have beaten Beerus, but he didn't. But Whis doesn't know, you guys can fight in a second. Vados, come with me. So some Vados end up going to Shinkan Zeno's realm, like right in front of Zeno, and Zeno will question what these two want. And what happens basically is like Whis is talks about Goku and how he mastered Kaioken, but also is a mortal with God Ki, a Saiyan at that. And Grand Priest is thinking of go to Goku's feet, just playing him Zeno, and they look at Champa's feet and his power, and Zeno even says, "Oh wow, Champa will die if he fights." And this is Zeno's like, then Goku has become the destroyer of Universe 6. We thought it said, well, I'd like the pleasure of reviving Champa because Goku has no will to become a deity. If he does, he is more interested in becoming a Supreme Kai. Or like a West Kai or something. Just Universe being a Kai, not a destroyer. So, yeah. So Vados does say that she can revive. Well, Zeno says that Vados can revive Champa, but she will be punished. Like, not with death or anything, but she will be punished. So she's like, okay, I'm okay with that. As long as they don't die. So yeah, Goku and Champa fight. And basically, you guys remember where the Universe 6 tournament happened? The Universe 6 tournament does not happen here. More or less, they kind of go to a desolated planet, and this desolate planet, or isolated planet, Goku goes Super Saiyan 3 and makes it with Master Kaioken. Master Kaioken doesn't really have any consequence with it. It hurts a bit, but that's really it. Yeah, Super Saiyan Blue, Master Kaioken versus Champa. And we go to an hour later. The planet they were on was obliterated. Then they obliterated every single planet in the vicinity. But there's not a single life form on that planet. Vados made sure of it. Because he doesn't know that would make Champa angry if Goku didn't go all out because of mortals. We see Champa on the ground, beaten, but not dead. Champa's covered in bruises and blood, and Goku was able to punch a Hakai so hard, like a Hakai blast so hard it was obliterated. And to think Piccolo is almost on the same level as Goku. Almost, not quite. Like he couldn't have beaten Champa, but almost could have. We see Goku, who's basically missing every single inch of clothing, just not, like, his pants were turned into shorts. But we got to highlight the fight, which is basically just Goku kicking the air so hard that he's the one that took out all the planets in the vicinity. Basically, they was just jump in the air. Vados gave him the ability to breathe in space temporarily. Well, Whis did. Then Vados just helped Champa by giving it a strength boost, just so he didn't die. But we see Goku in the air, and he kicked it as hard as humanly possible. And basically, the shockwave of the kick swallowed up planets, plus the ki around it swallowed up planets, and swallowed up Champa. That's why he's like this. That's why Champa's basically just naked and almost dead. Goku's kick, the shockwave and ki emitting off of it swallowed up planets. So yeah. But I guess that would be a wrap for the Universe 6 saga. We go to Goku Black saga. Well, they do meet Zamasu. Well, first they meet Trunks, then they meet Goku Black, then they have to meet Zamasu. Zamasu and Goku still fight. But as soon as Zamasu, first Gosu was like, first Beerus like, Zamasu fight Goku, because I want to see how you fare against him. Gosu was like, oh, Beerus, are you sure that's a wise idea? Even Rumshi's there because he heard Beerus and wants to see Goku's reaction to finding out that Goku beat a destroyer. And Zamasu's kind of questioning why Rumshi's there. But Beerus won't tell Champa, not Champa, he won't tell Goku or Zamasu. So Rumshi yells, Zamasu, if you fight this mortal at even a quarter of your power, you will be murdered, and this realm will be destroyed with his sheer presence. Now Rumshi a little confused, and Rumshi would say, this mortal beat the destroyer of Universe 6. And Zamasu jaw immediately dropped because he doesn't even compare to a destroyer. It's like nonetheless even Champa. So you just want to know what Goku will do to him. Goku actually says that he's willing to train Zamasu because he does hear about Goku's Black Zero Mortals plan. He offers to train Zamasu so he can find the beauty in mortals. And Zamasu immediately is like, there's no beauty in mortals, they're disgusting creatures, they destroy each other over and over. Goku talked about Frieza's race and Saiyans and how they used to be. And we talked about it to to Zamasu. Zamasu's like, so Frieza was kind of already on the track of doing that, but he was still beaten by a stronger foe. Goku would nod, saying, well, yeah, basically you have the two deities up there that I can't even reach power comparable to them. So even if you achieve Zero Mortal's plan, you will be eliminated by those two. So no matter what, there will be consequence to you making Zero Mortals. So how about this? We try to find the beauty in it. Zamasu shows Goku the race of the barbarians, and Zamasu doesn't directly interfere, but Goku has a plan because he doesn't know Zamasu cannot directly interfere. So he decides to tell them all basically he's an alien to them, but he's teaching them under Zamasu's commands. And all the way up until the finish of Goku Black arc, Trunks is shocked. Well, Goku and him, because Trunks did join in because he wanted to meet Goku Black that isn't Goku. Just find out Zamasu's kind of finding the beauty in Immortals after basically everyone from Universe 7 is helping. If Z5 is helping Zamasu through his orders of very horrible planets find, I guess not peace, but post Universe 7 thinking their own notes. Basically making the unintelligent or badly evolved races or universes or species, not universes, but the species or people, and making them better. And with this, over time, it actually improves the mortal rating of Universe 6. Well, 6 doesn't take notes on this, but they do get their Earth revived, by the way, just because Champa had asked, and Beerus said, okay, just revive your Earth, don't take ours. But, Universe 10 and Universe 7, their mortal levels rise, and Champa does take notes on just Goku's behavior and how he acts like a Kai with the power of a destroyer. Champa kind of just getting a little more calm and begins training a lot more. And actually does a destroyer's duty. So Universe 6, 10, and 7, their mortal levels increase by a lot over a few months. You think even like a year or two maybe. But yeah, so with this, basically, when around the time of the Tournament of Power arc, this time features Zeno. Well, this was Zamasu helping the timeline that was created because of Goku Black. That timeline was basically eradicated because it was fixed. So no, the Shinkan did realize the timeline disappeared and was actually demanding what happened. And when he hears what happened, he thought that basically Zamasu broke the rules of time, but realized that Goku offered to do this without having Zamasu interfere. So directly, there's no interference from a god. It was just a god asking a favor, and that mortal did the favor. So this was all a mortal's doing. So those are the other dimensions. One of the dimensions, universes. Not Champa's. Champa's really mortal level barely increased to average, but Universe 10 and Universe 7, their mortal levels were really good. And Goku actually did say that they did revive the races that Beerus destroyed, if for stupid reasons. So yeah, and they did just that. But now it's really a competition of basically just over every universe. Like this time it's not to eradicate the ones that are weakest. It's mainly just to usually it's just then wants to see which universe is the strongest, and every universe has to participate. Well, there's the ones that the highest mortal levels don't, but the same universe have to participate. Turn power still happens, goes the same way. Just not Goku versus Jiren. That's the main difference. Well, yes and no. Lots more members of Universe 7 are in, I guess. Just lots more members of Universe 7 are in, and Frieza is replaced with Trunks. Nothing important really happens. They're all a lot stronger, and basically no one gets knocked out. Kaba and Vegeta just now meet for the first time. Kale and Caulifla still train under Goku briefly. But yeah, no, Goku versus Jiren. Jiren is raped horribly, awfully. Goku's a lot stronger than he is in canon. And Krillin is replaced with Bardock, and then we'd have Krillin, Frieza, 18, and 17 are replaced. Bardock replaces Krillin. King Vegeta will replace 17. And yeah, if you guys are wondering by 18 Krillin replaced, they have a daughter. Pan is still born, but Vidal's not a Z fighter, so she has to stay with her daughter. Well, Goku is basically all the just the parental figures are replaced, just not Goku or Vegeta or Gohan. Yeah, so basically Goku obliterates Jiren without going into Ultra Instinct at all. Because he has his Super Saiyan Blue, plus a lot stronger Kaioken that can go up to 20. So, yeah. Now with this, Universe 7 wins, and they do, Goku's the MVP, and, well, Goku, he just thinks smarter on his feet. And, yes, he is kind of smart, a little bit smarter, because of Gine, Bardock, and the King of being annoyed at his stupidity. But his poor choice of words translated into, well, it was actually a decent choice of words, but it's still kind of weird. Translated into the divine language, with Piccolo's help, of course. Piccolo actually speaks divine language because of, well, Whis' help. Just with their, bad choice of words or messing up, I thought it was good up until Piccolo realized what he said and says, "Wait, no, erase these." But Super Dragon Balls doesn't take a long time for what happened to be erased because they're on the level as Zeno, I'd assume. But yeah, basically this ends. This part ends. Well, not this part. This series is gonna be on pause for a long time because I don't know if Dragon Ball Kakume. Because that's what I go into. I like it more than Super, at least more on Granola. Actually, no, this part wouldn't end here. I'm gonna go over more on Granola. Screw it. They meet Broly. Broly's defeated in basically one blow by Goku. Every single Saiyan is more involved with each other. Every single Saiyan. So basically, every single Saiyan pulls up on Broly, who is still is brought back to life by the Frieza Force because of Namek and Dragon Balls. But Namek they left real quick because they're all stronger. But Frieza is still revived. He still finds Broly. Yeah. That's all I can say about this. Now, eventually this leads to Goku just pause. Yeah, so every single Saiyan pulls up on Frieza. King Cold is revived by the fall as well, because Frieza Force got to know him. But King Cold, Frieza, and Broly all pull up on Earth, but Bulma just walks out of the ship, waving, "Hey." Frieza's a little confused until he sees every single Saiyan pull up with Super Saiyan Blue. And then Piccolo as well, because he's Guardian of Earth and has to guard them. And now Piccolo has the power of a Supreme Kai by now. He's on level of Shin, with creation at least. And Goku's is kind of reaching there. Yeah, Piccolo can basically revive a whole. Well, Beerus kind of has his own planet, but also planets around it. Piccolo can revive like multiple planets in kind of a realm, so to say. Goku's kind of like one planet at a time. But yeah. So Goku just proceeds to, I guess, fight Broly himself. And Broly's one shot until he goes to legendary Super Saiyan. But to the dismay of King Cold and Frieza, no one's phased. Paragus is even shocked. But King Cold and Frieza power up to their full power, which was usually their gold form. But then eventually it would pass up to go on to their diamond form, which is they already had platinum. They tried to use platinum against them, but King Cold and Frieza were handled by Bardock and King Vegeta. And those two are now like getting gray hairs along with Bardock's squad. Well, no, they already would have had gray hairs because Paragus is like their age. They all have gray hairs, but they're still pretty strong. But yeah, they all look old, but they're still insanely strong. Wait, this is like how many Saiyans would that be? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 Saiyans counting Pan and Bulla. 16 counting Future Trunk, because he stayed here. I should say that, but he stayed here. So 16 total Saiyans pull on Broly and Frieza and King Cold. But just 2 simple old men take down King Cold and Frieza. And then we have Goku, who just completely obliterates Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, like it's nothing. And Goku fights Broly like this. Like Broly goes shirtless in his Legendary Super Saiyan form. Goku just looks like this and boxes Broly, but with Legendary Super Saiyan Blue on. Plus Kaioken. Yeah, so basically obliterates Broly. Eventually, we'd have just Moro escaping still. But Goku wanting to test out Goten sends just Goten and Trunks and just those two to fight off Moro, because these two did eventually want God Ki because they turn on Piccolo constantly. So yeah, they have God Ki, Super Saiyan Blue, Gotenks. You don't want to mention how strong Gotenks is. Plus, this Goku doesn't need Ultra Instinct to beat the hell out of Moro. Vegeta doesn't need Namekian techniques, or need not Namekian, but doesn't need to learn your Dragon techniques. They can do it instantly. They can obliterate Moro. It's nothing. There's no effort needed. But we'd see Gotenks fuse, and then they're able to alter their body so they're a little bit bigger. Like, they're slower, but they're bigger. A bit of muscle mass as well. Like, they're not as buff as Broly or anything, but they're still pretty decently buff. So yeah, now this leads to basically Gotenks going, not Ultra Instinct, going into their Super Saiyan Blue form, and Moro absorbs some of the ki, and then those two fight as equals. This time, instead of Goku awakening Ultra Instinct Omen or anything that's Jiren, now it's Gotenks awakening Ultra Instinct Omen right against Moro. Moro absorbs that ki, but realizes he can't attack. But Gotenks immediately defuses as Moro can't attack, and in the middle of it, just basically dispersing, Gotenks defuses, and they both use their own attacks against Moro. And they're able to do every single yard drat technique because they're taught it by Piccolo. So basically, Trunks makes his one clone, Goten makes his one clone. The original Goten would use Kamehameha. The clone would use Big Bang because Goku has a Big Bang attack. Then the regular Trunks would do Gallic Gun. Then the clone would do Kamehameha. Those attacks collide against Moro, and Moro cannot really resist them. By the time he's almost killed. Well, he's almost killed, but he's able to live, but barely. As Goku tries to go full power again, Trunks and Goten fuse, and they're still out of ki. They have a lot of it left. You remember how Moro shoved his fist through Goku? Well, Gotenks shoved their fist through Moro and killed him. And they do tell Goku that what happened, and they weren't weak, but they were trouble. It was real troublesome. It was bad. Like, they were pretty badly beaten up, but they still lived. I don't know what to say now. Pause. Alright, so I guess the next arc would be Granola. Granola does what's the strongest in the universe, and that does actually provide a lot of trouble. Because a lot of the Saiyans can't really fight anymore. They're a little too old. Paragus just joined their old man ranks. He doesn't die to King Cold or Frieza because, well, two old men handled those two in a split second. So if Paragus among the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 old people. So there's like 7 or 8 old people in total. Nappa didn't eventually join them because he's Nappa. He's pretty old. So it leaves 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 Trunks. So it leaves like seven non-old Saiyans. There's 2 more because of Bulla or Bra and Pan, but they're not fighters. There's like a total 7 Saiyans that are able to fight without getting too tired or out of ki fast. And Raditz is one of them. Raditz is like, there's Goten and Trunks, but then like Goten and Trunks individually are now stronger than Raditz because he doesn't train that much. Like he mainly focuses on taking care of Bardock and Gine. That's like his main focus. But he doesn't train that much. That's why he's weak. But he could have been a lot stronger. But even his own parents are stronger than him at this point. It's not Gine because she doesn't train at all. But she didn't pull up on Broly with them, so she still got it in her. But yeah, so against Granola, 7 of them show up, and Gotenks is in Goten and Trunks are in Gotenks, and they're able to withstand. Well, they're able to be in Gotenks for like 4 hours in total. And the Heaters are there too, but they had stolen something from Namek, which is the Dragon Balls. And they did try to use the wish on Gas, but it's like we can't make him the strongest universe. The Dragon Balls like we can't make him the strongest universe, but we can make him a deity. We can give him the power of like. This I can give him is like we can give him God Ki and mastery of it. That's it. We can't make him as strong as a actual god. We can't make him a strong universe, but we can give him mastery over God Ki. That's it. So Gas takes that, and his abilities are a lot stronger. Well, Granola proceeds to fight the Saiyans and the Z fighters who did come as well. And Gas being seen out with Granola because he's gonna have to kill Granola later. But yeah. But basically can just go to let's say probably just Granola and Gas team up against everyone. And Gas is quickly defeated by Gotenks. Gotenks is a master of God Ki himself and basically killed Gas. Then Granola fights Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo. Piccolo came as well because Piccolo's the Goku of Namekians. Well, no, he's on the same level as Goku actually. Forget like he's on the same level as Goku. But yeah, so with this, we have basically Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, Gohan. Get all of them, or team up on Granola. If you guys know the fight back in the meme, then this is just that. It's like if you know the fight in the meme with Yuji and Nanami versus Mahito and how they're abusing him. So what every single Saiyan is doing to Granola. Granola made the strongest in the universe, but these Saiyans are like top tier plus the Namekian and every single Z fighter. Like this is just abuse at this point. It's not even a fight. It is just Granola being kicked around like a rag doll. Like, oh, he's gonna shoot someone with the Ki Blast. No, Goku Piccolo have it because it's those two. Eventually, Granola does provide trouble as he's powering up himself and just getting stronger in the fight. And then eventually, Goku and Granola keep fighting. Goku awakens Ultra Instinct Omen here. But then Piccolo does it himself because, like I said before, Piccolo's on the same level as Goku. You guys may not care or may not like it, but I don't care because these two have Ultra Instinct Omen. They keep fighting with Granola because Granola's able to beat everyone eventually because they ran out of the Ki, he didn't. But Goku and Piccolo saw the most. Was he fighting? He's Ultra Instinct Omen. Granola awakens it himself because strongest universe needs to have Ultra Instinct, of course. So basically 3 Ultra Instinct users against each other, but all he can do is dodge. Granola's barely able to attack. But Piccolo's first one to awaken, like master Ultra Instinct, technically not mastered, but he's able to use it with attacking. Then Goku does it following suit. And with this, they're able to actually defeat Granola because he didn't awaken it. He's really able to attack, and he ran out of ki faster because he's fought so much more people. This Granola's defeated, and then Monato's just kind of upset. But Piccolo actually says that Monato should fuse with him because he's able to upgrade the Dragon Balls at least. And Monato does say that he should do that because it could ease tensions with Granola against them. So Monato fuses with Piccolo. Piccolo upgrades truly in Dragon Balls, and they're able to basically take away half of Granola's power. They don't want to take away all of it, but take away half of it. Due to more wishes being able to be granted, they take away every single one of Gas's abilities, even taking away all of his ki in general. And then the third wish is to destroy the Heaters and their race. So yeah, I mean this part here. This is over a span of a very short amount of time because the Saiyans were making waves of returning. So they should have been pretty more well known, and Moro escaped because he just did early. And then Frieza found Broly and King Cold and Frieza found Broly early. Everything was early. Hope you guys enjoyed this part. Subscribe, and comment for more. But more will not come out for probably months. Goodbye.